Here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Looting through the rubble, leaving cities war-torn, still incurring more scorn. Ragged and I'm forlorn, trying to unlock this. Open with my lockpicks, punching with my second hand every time the clock ticks.
All right, there you go.
All right. Just give us a couple of moments. I'm trying to figure out the audio situation because I had a hilarious issue a moment ago where I actually had everything set up, especially thanks to help for Sirocyl, who you're going to be hearing through his name throughout the night. And then I hit to stream live, only to find out that I forgot to do some setups with some of the live streaming stuff earlier in terms of like its descriptions and categories and things like that. That's where I'm going crazy. So I just want to see if we are actually displaying audio or not. I know there's a ridiculous amount of lag going on. So just give me a moment and then I'll be able to get going on here, okay? Because we're about to get to the actual part where you can see me and then we'll be on our way. This should be a fairly short episode. Not short as that there's not a lot of content, but more of like, fine. Right. Okay, cool. So my voice does come through. Awesome. That's what I needed to know here. So, hi everybody. Oh, that was a lot of bleh. We're like last minute wire gutting trying to get this show on the air and off the ground, and I just realized I probably put the logo in the absolute wrong spot, but I'll correct that in a moment because I'm going to be walking back between the camera. And yes, before anyone asks in chat, I have done something with my hair. It was a lot nicer looking a couple of days ago than it is now. So, you know, I went from magnificent, unscrupulous bird nest poof to whatever Ursula crap is this. So you're just going to have to bear with me. Hackers are not known for their best hairstyles. I haven't cut anything. I like did a styling thing on it, and I'm going to restyle it this Tuesday. But this is what you get for now. Anyway, you guys are going to be more, guys and gals and key pins and driver pins are going to be more focused on my hands than what I'm going to be doing here. So, welcome to one of the two live stream shows. Yes, thank you, Josh, for letting me know. What was I getting to? This is one of the two live streams I had a while ago. I was with Sirocyl and Commander. We're doing one of my very odd but very awesome episode of Crypto Barons. This is my other show called Master of Unlocking. Before I get to that, I should explain who I am. I'm known on the internet as Sidepocket. I'm one of the two co-founders of DCG 201, formerly known as DC 201 and DEFCON 201. We are we made this amazing food earlier and like it's clogging my system. It's like he's live streaming, send all the burps up now. But we're a hacking and tinkering group that meets up every third Friday of the month. Hey, from the lock camp stuff. We were supposed to have like a big meeting this month, and then some last minute things kind of killed that. But don't worry, we are going to meet up in person and hopefully live stream before the end of the month. So stay tuned for those announcements tomorrow. If you have any want to know more about our group and what we do and stuff, you can find us at our website at defcon201.org. Which I should have put a little counter of how many times I'm going to say Sirocyl's name throughout this episode. But Sirocyl made that website. It's really awesome design. We're going to be making big updates to it into next year. It's going to be great. We're also all over social media, including our big two ones, which are on Twitter at DEFCON201NJ. We're also just DEFCON201 on Instagram, GitHub, the hostnux.social instance of Mastodon. We have our own .onion instance, which we're kind of reconfiguring and stuff. Next to me, hi Brad, next month. I don't know if you're recording the person, but cool. I'm glad the chat's active tonight. And for those of you who don't want to open a separate tab and try to type in all the stuff I'm saying, I'm going to disappear for a moment. Oh my God, where'd he go? And I'm actually going to copy pasta both the website link as well as a giant, boy, there's a bunch of people in here, Linktree page where you can go check us out. Don't worry. This is actually going to be one of those episodes, like move the logo over where you can see it better, where we're going to get right into things. But before we do, we're going to go over three quick things. One is that that if you want to interact, I love talking to chat. I can see the chat's already very active. There's a bunch of people watching, so hi everyone out there on Twitch, D Live, and YouTube. If you also haven't followed us yet or subscribed to us, it's completely free. You can click that icon or on Twitch, D Live, or YouTube. On YouTube, make sure to click that bell and put all, because YouTube is poorly coded. And well, I'm also streaming out there on Facebook, and there's a way to watch us through the Tor network. Unfortunately, I still haven't had the time yet to sit my butt down and properly do the PeerTube. So the next live stream, which will probably be the Crypto Barons this upcoming Saturday, should have the PeerTube working again. So that's on my end. This was a crazy week, as you can probably tell with how bad my hair is right now. But I love talking to chat, and if you follow us, we get notifications for that and I cheer you on. But if you're just here to watch me suffer or to through my suffering learn a couple of things, as I always keep saying, keep looking, keep learning. The second thing is that, as you can see with the banner above us, which now we have decided we're going to run all the way into December, not because we haven't met our goal yet. We just want to stretch this as far as we can, but we promise that once the new year begins, where our charity fundraiser is going to end, but we think it's a very good fundraiser. As you can see the bar above me, we are trying to raise money for the Children's Miracle Hospital Network. It is a giant charity organization that has links to multiple children's hospitals and pediatric wings across the United States and Canada. And they normally help deal with kids that have contracted illnesses, that have been injured, kids that are born with deformities and mental illnesses and stuff like that. And it was already bad enough because it's the United States and there's no such thing as like doctors and health or equal pay for these doctors and nurses before COVID-19. Now it's especially bad with COVID-19. So basically what we're trying to do, like this holiday season, like going into the new year, is to help out sick kids. And there's multiple different ways you can donate. If you, oh God, the commander's paid feeds me. Yes. Unfortunately, I'll put it this way. He's not going to be on this episode. Sorry to disappoint. So, but bait and switch. You're going to see what we want to do in a moment. And also that we're trying to work on something where you can probably see him on our channels more frequently. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I'm still working out with timing and details with him and a couple of other people. So just putting that out there. Also, according to him, you might see me on a future thing of his on his channel. He hasn't, nothing set in stone yet, but I know he's been asking me some things. So don't be surprised if one of these days I pop up for one of his videos or live streams. Just saying, because I love haunting his house. And yes, I know you donated. You donated. Thank you for that. I don't know if you just donated now or if you donated last time. I believe you donated last time. Thank you for that. Still. But yeah, there's multiple ways you can donate to the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. If you're on Twitch right now, if you scroll up below, there's a widget that you'll be able to donate directly. As you can see on the stream, there is a QR code that I still have to do some adjustments on, but if you're able to scan it, it'll bring it right through the phone. No, it's not a hack, believe it or not. And finally, which is what I'm about to walk away and do right now, I'm going to be posting this throughout the night. We do have a link to where you can go directly donate. And you can donate. I mean, it'd be amazing if someone donated like $1 billion right now. And there's a link in chat. But if you donate $1, $3, $5, $10, whatever you feel comfortable with and that you're able to give and doesn't bankrupt you, this all goes to sick kids. It's being handled by Tiltify, which is a third-party organization. We don't touch any of the money. We're not like a Bitcoin startup firm. We're not trying to like pump and dump and run. Even if we don't hit our goal, let's say by the end of December we reach $599 US and Sony aims their gun at their foot. All the money, even the 129 right now, that's all going to go to the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, which will then be evenly distributed among multiple hospitals all around the country and in Canada, including there are 14 children's specialty hospitals, that's what they're called, in New Jersey, that do a really insane bang-up job with what they do with that. That's fun. We host a show called Crypto Barons, and we're not Bitcoin rich either. Someone kind of is in the household, but I'm definitely not. Let's put it this way. So, and then the final thing, before I stop running back and forth, except to post the link for the donation, is what we cover all this show on Master of Unlocking. So this is Master of Unlocking. This is the show where I go over one of my favorite hobbies and activities of all times, which is looking at various physical security, mainly lock equipment, seeing how it works, finding flaws and deficiencies within those lock systems, and then how to bypass them. In short, I teach people how to pick locks, and I am a Tool member. That's the open organization of lockpickers, tool at 3os.us. Even though this is not a Tool sponsored stream, I might add, and this is not from Tool. I just put that out there so that you know I am a member. I do go to when they're open, and it has been in a while because of COVID-19. I've gone to both the New Jersey and New York ones, and I help out at cons and stuff. And my knack is teaching this stuff. That's what I'm good at. Even though I haven't done a teaching tutorial in a while, although that should be coming up. If not in December, it will definitely show up in January. So. Because basically throughout the summer up until now, I've had to delay building up the lock training equipment, which all the tools here you're going to see that for, and I'm going to get right back into that starting in December. So there'll be new stuff I'll be able to show on the stream, new techniques and things will be cool. But anyhow, the reason I'm bringing this all up is because even though it's not a Tool-sponsored stream, Tool has 2 amazing-ass rules that we go over every stream. Whether you're watching this pre-recorded, you're watching it live, you're watching it from the future back in time, that we cover on here just because they make so much sense and it protects me, it protects you, it protects your sanity, the legal system, all of that. So before we start any of this, here's the 2 rules. Number 1 rule is do not pick locks that you rely on. You have no idea how many times when I teach this stuff, even though I tell people that rule, their first instinct is that they're like, oh, I really want to try the lock on my front door or the lock on my gym or whatever, on my windows, on my safe. And I'm like, but you use that for things. And it's like every time you pick a lock or use a bypass or defeat some security measure on it, you're going to wear out the tools that you use to do those security circumventions. You're going to wear out the lock itself. The more times you do something, the more that lock is going to be susceptible for doing it. So it actually weakens the security overall. And then my favorite nightmare scenario is where you inevitably break your tools in the lock and have rendered both your tool and the lock useless. So please do not pick locks that you rely on. The second rule is do not pick locks that you don't own. If you see this show, whether it's live stream or post live stream when it's recorded and I'm just an echo in the internet, the big great fart that's on the internet, or will probably be known as soon the metaverse. But if you're walking around out there in the great wide world and you're like, oh, and you're like, see it on a grocery store or someone's house, you're like, oh, I've seen that lock before. That's a Schleg, blah, 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 blah. I saw on the Master of Unlocking that you use this thing for the blah, 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 and I'm going to try to do that now. Don't do that, because one, by doing that already without permission, you have just trespassed on someone's property. You've also trespassed and handled a property that you don't own. And as dumb as maybe their lock security is, they put a lock there for a reason. You're not supposed to go in there. No one is except for the people that owns the key. So recap, do not pick locks that you rely on and don't pick locks that you don't own. All of the stuff that you're going to see today and everything that you see when I show up in person with the lockpicking equipment, which you will see me more of in the future, particularly with our meetings, that will be hybrid meetings. I can't wait for December. That's going to be the good one finally, because we've just been but all the locks that you see and all the tools for those are only there to help me learn how to pick locks better and to teach others how to pick locks and for them to practice on to make better. These locks are not used to lock anything important. They literally just sit in that bin. The other people that live with me, including Sirocyl, can attest that they just sit in a bin waiting for the next time I bring them out to either pick on the show or to bring out in person for someone else to pick. So again, do not pick locks that you rely on. Don't pick locks that you don't own. If we're cool with that, we can continue on. Now again, I also had a brain fart, so if you give me a moment when we switch over, I have to do some things that hopefully will not expose my social security number or some bad crap like that. The thing that I will do in the meantime, as I try to unscrew this, is that both physically and literally, is that one of the things, and again, I've just had a busy week, so as you can probably tell, I unfortunately did not go to lock camp. I really, really wanted to go. It's a combination of, holy crap, camping in the woods with and learning how to pick locks. I could teach other people all the lame stuff that I know with how to pick locks. And the other thing that's kind of important here, let's make this full screen, is that it's in Texas. And I know Texas is a big place, but I have relatives in Texas. So that was going to be a 2-for-1 for me. Unfortunately, due to both budget and timing, especially timing, I was not able to go this year. But, and I will say this, that I am already starting to plan basically once February hits. I know. But again, if someone wanted to sponsor me, that'd be great because, again, I'm not like you, I'm not made of Bitcoin rich. But starting in February, I'm already planning for my finances and doing a ticket and stuff to go. Basically, my 2 big things next year is going to, for me, that I can publicly announce, is I'm going to try to make it to DEF CON 30, and I'm going to Lock Camp. I'm literally going to go there and either before or after visit my relatives. I'll put it this way. I've never taught lions or tigers how to pick locks. I have taught bears how to pick locks. In fact, give me a moment and I'll go into that fun story in a bit. But I just wanted to point out that Lock Camp happened. I believe that's at lock.camp. And just because I've had a crazy week, because otherwise I would have made a bigger deal about this. If anyone wants to talk about in chat, being at Lock Camp, I believe we have the guy, or the person, I should say, who runs or helps out with Lock Camp. Okay, 2022, November 11th to 13th. I've already put that on my calendar. Thank you for reminding me that. It's Cooper here, is the person that runs this thing. If you want to share some of your stories in chat while I try to teach this, I would love to hear what went on in some of the stories. If not, as I said online, check your messages. I would like to bring you on in December next month to interview you exactly about Lock Camp. So this is just more of like a this, and also it relates to the thing we're going to be looking at. So anyhow, yep, DC-30 or bust. It's DC-30 a Lock Camp or bust. I never talk about Hackers on Planet Earth, not because I hate it. I'm actually part of staff for that. Not core staff, but core staff adjacent, which most people are there. But, and I promise I'll go back on screen in a moment, I'm always there. I've never missed a Hope. It's literally in my neighborhood. That's why I never bring it up. So basically, I'm definitely going to try to be at DEF CON 30. I'm already planning. Lock Camp, yes, and Hackers on Planet Earth, yes. Also known as Captain Chaos. Yep. So what I want to do here is, let me try to find this thing. I just want to post the donation link one more time, and then I finally managed to redo this so that we can actually look at the table. The table. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's get into this episode. This is going to be fun. This is going to be one of the episodes where the lead up to this thing is going to be more interesting and less suffering for me than me actually going through it. So just, there you go. And by the way, I'm also doing something in the browser in the background where, who knows, we might be able to do something really cool at the end of this. Because honestly, this is probably going to be a short episode. I think at max this is going to take an hour, depending on how much you want to see me suffer. So what are we looking at here? Well, let's look at the packaging on this. So what we're looking at here is this thing. Originally, we had this in the package, and I was going to unbox it. However, and unfortunately, in order to test a tool of mine, we had to take it out. Sirocyl used his super hacker strength and pulled it out. Originally, this was in its case. I do have this thing in here, but it's called a Warlock. It's number TKP-10 or Kingpin Lock. I have no idea what Kingpin means. I think that's more of a brand thing than an actual thing. Except for that one guy who lied to me and said, Hope now no staff. Okay, I hope you can make it to Hope as well, Binary Badger. I will say this about Hope staff. Hope did have staff. 2 hours after the Chelsea Manning keynote on Circle of Hope, because that was statute of limitations up, Hope basically didn't have staff, because that's how much the shit hit the fan with all of that. I'm not going to go into details now, maybe later in the stream, maybe some other episode, just because my brain would explode. To be honest, talking about Circle of Hope should happen the lead up to Hope, and I would have to bring on special guests for that, because that's an episode all in of itself, in my opinion. But this is by a company called Warlock, and because Ha, warlock like wizard, but also war, like it's like two man things. Oh, testicles, 1 and 2. Made in the USA, giant proud piece of shit here. Although Master Lock is also made in the USA, and we know how badly quality those locks are, so that really doesn't mean anything. Especially with the current state of this country, between like the Rittenhouse verdict and people washing themselves in freaking borax and making their butthole extra clean more than they ever want to and sending them to the hospital. This logo doesn't mean anything anymore. Like I'm proud of I love this country. I'm proud to be an American. This logo doesn't mean shit. And I bet there's some aspect of it that's made in China. That's usually with a lot of these things. It says here, trust us to keep your cargo safe and secure. We're gonna put that to the test. Again, I'm not my mentor Night Owl. I'm not a master lock. Even though it's called Master of Unlocking, that's more due to the meme with Resident Evil. I do know how to pick locks. Most people consider myself decent to good at it, but I'm not a wizard. I'm not lockpicking lawyer. So just putting that out there for this episode of expectation levels. Those instructions are located on the inside of the insert, which is funny because here's the thing that caught Sirocyl's eye when he got it. Oh, so it's actually in the packaging itself. But before we get to the broken packaging here, we didn't remove the keys. That's where the keys would be. They're gone. And this is something that if you'll actually notice when I do my traveling kit, a lot of the locks don't have keys because most of the locks that I use to train, I have a rule, except for the super hard locks that are just there just to challenge the like annoying superhumans at Tool. At Tool at the Open Organization of Lockpicker meetups and our DCG 201 meetups. Hang on. Hydration time. I just want to reach out. I would make it to Hope, but I'd have to find someone to stick with me because NYC is scary when you're visually impaired. Yes, it very much is. We're trying to do a themed meetup in January called Accessibility, damn it, where we're going to talk about how hackers are trying to make technologies for all sorts of things, cityscapes, operating systems, physical hardware, more accessible. Because I'll put it this way, I'm a mostly abled person in tech, and they did not design these shit for abled people with 2 hands and 2 legs and a brain. That like it's already bad for abled people. I can only imagine how crappy this is for people who have disabilities, both mental and physical. So I just want to give you a heads up, SCJ 643. If you are very interested in accessibility, we're in January. We plan on having a theme meeting about accessibility and technology in January. So I hope you like that. But back to the topic here, and then I guess I'll tell that other story about teaching bears. There was no keys in these, and this is apparently why Sirocyl decided to get this for me. I don't know if this is his idea of a Christmas gift, or he hates me that much, or both. And there's a weird notification on the computer that I'm going to check in a moment. I'm actually going to check this right now. Oh, this is hilarious. Hang on. Oh, boy. This is definitely going to be a short episode. Hold on a moment. All right. Hopefully that will go away. Windows 10 update tried to happen. I put it on snooze. So if the stream cuts out for no reason, it's not the power didn't go out. It's not the FBI, although it's FBI adjacent. It's because Microsoft is the premature birth of software products, where it's like, congratulations, you're gonna go into labor, aka Patch Tuesday, even though it's not Tuesday, whether you like it or not. So that's always that. But back to all this. So this is why apparently he got this. He found this at, I believe, was it a yard sale or was it a flea market? Flea market. It was a flea market. And again, I don't know if Conzo is best of friends. Anyhow, that's very true. I don't know if he hates me or not, but that's why he got this, because he just saw a giant lock body and no keys. And I had to go and investigate this, but we'll investigate this in a moment because I do want to point out something on this. So what this is, and I'm going to bring this on here, and it's really goddamn heavy. Okay, here it is, folks. Oh, Jesus Christ, you're going to hear it when I flop it on the table. Hopefully the table will not break in half. You can tell this is made in America because it weighs 8 million pounds. So what this is, it says here Warlock TPK 10 Kingpin lock this is a camper coupler. This allows you to hitch between a hitch, aka combine together the camper or camping vehicle or whatever you're towing with the main vehicle. Ideally, it's a truck. Gonna hope, watch your back. Okay, that I will say though on this Demona, unfortunately, that's not only most hacker cons everywhere around the world. That is literally, unfortunately, everywhere. Women and especially women of color and female identified people. Still, there's been huge progress, but there's still a lot of hurdles that are created by dumb people. And this is the United States. There's a lot of dumb people. Okay, so Sirocyl is physically here, but it's really hard to like materialize him physically. You might hear his voice occasionally. I don't know if he's in the chat. If he's in the chat, he's gonna yell at me. But so if he's in the chat, he'll respond in chat instead of lurking. You might hear his voice. Right now, he's not visibly presentable. I believe instead of the ball hitch, which we're going to kind of get into in a moment, because I've actually wanted to do an entire episode of hitches. This is literally just because Sirocyl's like, surprise, YOLO, happy birthday, Christmas, Kwanzaa, here's this thing. So I'm like, okay, I guess this is going to be my next episode, whether I want to or not. But yeah, this is, there's like I'm sure it's just like to explain this more, but you have like the cord, like tube piece here that you kind of see on the end of trucks when it's not the ball tube, and you flip that over, and then you're able to connect the other piece, and then you have this peg here, which goes in the little hole with the two tubes connecting it together, and that locks both in there. And because of how big and heavy this is, as long as the truck has enough horsepower to do this and is not stuck in ice and need kitty litter, everything's going to happen. Hello, Snow, and SCJ643 said hi, apparently, and there's Sirocyl in the chat. We've been meaning to use that amazing GIF that we saw on the Discord. I hope that's still there because I'm probably going to use that later this week. So thank you also for whoever created that GIF. If it was USCJ, awesome. If not, tell that person I said that GIF of him is amazing, and we're going to use that until the end of time. So this is kind of fascinating because I do have a actual hitch lock for a hitching mechanism. And you've seen this before on our show. It's this thing. What I find hilarious about this type of lock, this is why I think it's called a Rainier 10, is that I have actually seen, this is supposed to be, you have a smaller hitch. Like, let's say you're like carrying like a small external battery to use for like outside camping stuff. Yes, it is strange. And you're carrying a small battery or maybe like a small shed on wheels filled with dildos or something. This is supposed to be like a lock instead of putting a master lock, which honestly could probably work as well. I think it's more of the angle design of this, why you would probably want to go for this sort of thing. This is what you put on. But what I find hilarious is that throughout Jersey City, where we are and we operate in, as well as just in New Jersey in general, I have seen these locks hold protective shielding sheds for businesses that close. I have seen this on lockers with valuables in them. I have seen people use this lock as if it's a master number 3 lock, which is hilarious because its security is not too far away from a master lock 3 lock. In fact, the older version of this, which I want to get my hands on one day, was even worse because the little, see if I can pull close enough. You can kind of see there's a little bit of spacing around here, but trust me, I've tried shims, it doesn't fit. The older ones, the spacing felt like it was an inch wide. So you can literally take any piece of metal, like when I say thin piece of metal, like a normal 25 thousandths of an inch piece of metal, I've even seen people use coat hangers, metal coat hangers, and stick it in between the mechanism where the shackle hitches in, and just bypass it, just and opens. That was the older ones, and there was so much of a shit being like, how are you even worse than master lock number 3s, that they changed it so that you can't do that. But in terms of the inside security, this is not much better. I just want to go over this one because this is also basically, this is the tiny younger brother, do not talk about me and my son ever again version of this giant ass motherfucker. What am I working on right now? No, because here's what I'm going to show you. So what does confuse people about this is that if you look in, and honestly, I probably should have grabbed another like normal lock, but I think everyone in here will get the point that normally when you look at a lock, when you look straight down, let's see if I can get it at the right angle, in the cavity, you would see these, I always describe them as little bullets, and those are the key pins. You can't see them here. And that's because this is a coupler, and I've noticed that couplers that hitch vehicles together, none of them have. There are some that are pin and tumbler. Most aren't. There are always some other variant of lock. This is a wafer lock. This is a one-sided wafer lock. Now, just due to timing, because I couldn't set this up in time, I'm not going to explain once again how wafer lock works. We've literally not only had an episode dedicated to what alternative lock bodies that I have, including wafer locks, but I've done that video showing how wafer lock works all the time. But what you need to know about it is that it has some cool features. They're flat pieces of metal. If you've ever seen a car key and you've noticed that the bitting is on both sides, that's because you can literally pull these up or down depending on where the springs are oriented, so that way you can do bitting on both sides. However, the thing about this is that this is one, all the springs are in the same orientation, so it's one side. So it might as honestly well be a pin and tumbler lock. And two is that while you can pick these with normal picks, in my experience, the best way to pick these, and actually I don't have them in this case. I actually have these in my bypass case because I couldn't fit them in my normal case. So just give me one moment. Because that's my current everyday carry. That's my main one. Then I have a side everyday carry that is thin enough that I can fit with me, which is in my old case. And these are the ones that you want to use in here, which are these guys. So this is known as there's a ball normally, but these two particular ones are a half ball and a snowman. And I'm going to show you why. That's one of the things I always tell people I love about locks is that almost everything in locks, unlike cybersecurity, the names are exactly what you think they are. You know, key pins, they engage with the keys. Driver pins, they drive the lock body up and down. The Bible, it holds all this. It just makes sense. And similar with these two. So the one on the right is the half ball because it's half of a ball or half circle. And then the one on the left is a snowman because it's basically two balls on top of each other. And because we're already doing enough juvenile humor by saying balls, they called this the snowman, partially because if you look at it, and it's funny because December's coming up. Santa, stay in your lane. We still have a week and a half of November left. Go back up go back. Don't make me grab the crossbow. Go back. December 1st, you're allowed in here. Until then, like you think you can break into anything, but I've seen what you do. Use the same tricks I do. Go back, okay? See you after, like, 5 days after Turkey Day is December 1st, all right? Okay, we're good? We're good, all right. But as you can see here, because we're near December, there's two balls on top of each other. The top ball is smaller than the bottom ball, just like in real life. But it looks like a little snowman when you look together. Yes, lock naming does get less fun with safe locks, probably because, in my experience, and I'm hoping early next year, we'll be able to finally do an entire thing about safe cracking. Because I brought pieces of it before. But the thing about safes is that they have a lot of not only weird parts, and safes kind of are adjacent to locks in terms of like keyway locks, but not really. They also have their own proprietary stuff. So some of the names are just oof. It's like the way Apple names shit. I hate it. But and I often have people, when they order lockpick cases, especially beginners cases, I don't know why they do this, where they include a ball, half ball, or snowman. And people are always like, well, what the hell is this stuff? And these are particularly designed well for wafer locks. So the thing about normal lockpicks, and I can go back to this guy, and this is going to be the one where I use the least of this kit. So with a normal lock, and again, I should have grabbed a normal lock for this. Let me grab the half ball, which is its equivalent. This is a short hook, right? So on the left. So the thing about these hooks is that even when it has a fat bottom girl or boy, it usually comes to a point, and those are designed to hit individual pins because the pins are rounded at the bottom. So it's easy to make like a dentist point and get at it. Like sometimes, especially the high security stuff, you prefer that. Wafers are super thin, meaning a lot of times you can miss the wafer or the wafer slips off because the point is exactly as thin, if not a little thinner, than the wafer itself. So it's hard to feel and it's hard to pick. This rounded part of these half balls and snowmen, are designed as the widest surface area as possible while still being able to glide in and out in order to catch the wafers. And that's why they're really good at this. In fact, if you want to break it down, which is why you only see a ball and half ball or a half ball and a snowman, is that the ball and double ball, aka the snowman, are for raking techniques, and the half ball, while you could rake it, kind of like you can zip things with a half diamond, are designed for single wafer picking, in my opinion. Let's see here. Key safe locks are more fun than combo locks. It actually depends where you're going through. We did an entire episode about combination locks, and that was just hilarious. So we had a lot of fun with that episode. I think it's more like how you feel and what techniques you have, because it's like I think the thing about combination locks and safes is that each one's a little different. So you kind of need to know exactly what pressure and what technique. But a lot of them, especially nowadays, you either only need a thin piece of metal or no tools at all. So that's kind of a benefit. Well, with lockpicking, I still, even with really cheap stuff, I have to tell people, get these locks, get these practice locks, get these kits. And even with the cheapest, most effective ones available, you're still like blowing like $30 to $50 on the thing. So maybe 25, maybe $20. But yeah, you're still spending like with my first combination lock that I did for my kit, I literally got because you could decode it without any instruments, so that just made bringing stuff forward is easier. Oh yeah, and you could also, depending on the situation, use it for bypassing. So let's kind of get into this, and actually I have to go back in the kit. I'm going to get out my favorite, shockingly most useful bottom of the Keyway tension wrench that I love, which is this giant, long, thick L tension wrench, aka turning tool, with a little twisted in. I like the twist not only for feedback, like that's what she said, but also because it's more comfortable on my hands. So we're going to do bottom of the keyway here. And you know how you were saying earlier, if this can't be worse than a master lock number 3, I'm going to do it normal, and then to prove it's not a magic trick, I'm going to hold it the odd way, and you're going to actually see the shackle come apart. So, and I haven't done this in a while, but this should work. Worst comes to worst, I do a smaller bottom of the keyway tension wrench. There we go. That was it. Yep, open. It is completely open. Here, just to make sure that you folks don't think I'm like, doing a David Copperfield or whatever, I'm just going to do it again, and I'm going to hold it at an odd angle here with the same amount of, hopefully the same amount of tension, because it's odd to tension it with your ring and pinky finger, to show you how little of this stuff you have to actually do. And of course, you can also rake this open. Yep, open. Yep, and not to oversay as well. So yeah, this is basically how long I can open a master lock number 3. It's literally about half a second to a second and a half. So yeah, these are designed as locks to couple together a vehicle and another trailer or piece of equipment for smaller ones with lighter loads. And this is pathetic to get into, and that's why I have it as an example of a wafer lock. I'm also going to get a practice wafer lock from whatever lockpicking lawyer store is. What is it called? Covert Industries or something. He says it now in every video. I kind of want to do a drinking game with him where it's like, drink every time he says, and I have a lock for you. Drink every time he says, counter rotation on 3, click on pin number 2, and then finally, like, finish your entire drink when he tries to shill out his store, Covert Industries. You will be drunk after 2 videos. It would be amazing. I love lockpicking lawyer, by the way. I'm not trying to shit on him. In fact, we'll get to this in a moment. Congratulations to him at St. Con for being the keynote speaker for there. I haven't seen it yet. If we have some time, we might see it a bit on air, although that Windows update is really looking at me very mean. And I also just realized I'm wearing a Hope shirt, ironically, because we were talking about Hope earlier. Oh, well. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this out, show an example of a hitching mechanism, a bit one for a light load and one that's notoriously pathetic. It's the master lock 1 through 5s of hitching locks and also of wafer locks, in my opinion. Now, the meat and potatoes of this, by the way, because my brain's telling me that nature's calling soon, TMI, I might go over this part. We'll take a short break with some music, and then provided Windows Update doesn't kill the entire computer, and there is a reason why we're using Windows for this. It's not by choice, trust me. We're initially using Linux, and that's a whole story. I'm going to go over why we have the rest of the equipment out here. Then I'm going to go on a short break, and then we're going to try to get into this thing, which is going to be the funny and torturous part for me. I've actually never been to SaintCon. I've heard good things about it, and we do follow them on Instagram and social media. But I've heard good things about it. I haven't been there. Maybe I'll go next year. We'll see. Maybe I'll go. It's like 2023. If there's too many cons for 2022, at worst 2023, I'll see if I can go to SaintCon. We'll make it a whole trip. But so the odd thing about this that I was looking at, right, is that I initially thought, because I only saw it from a distance, is that I thought this was a normal pin and tumbler lock. But let's see if I can hold it up here. This shows you my weightlifting ability. If we can look at the keyway, there are no pins in there. In fact, you're seeing all these like weird doorways. It looks like some sort of matrix hallway, like what's going on there. This is a different type of lock than a pin and tumbler lock. This is the part that's going to give me a headache. I'm going to read the chat now, though. I'm glad that Lockpick and Learner's Talk was uploaded in SaintCon. Was very respectful of his privacy. It was definitely... That's the part I want to see. I don't know if he wore like a giant mascot furry helmet, or like they did like the, what do you call it? This ages me. Austin Power joke where there's just random objects everywhere he moves constantly in the way of his face. I have no idea what they did. Do not spoil it for me in chat, because I want to see it, and who knows, maybe we'll watch a piece of it before this episode ends, at least a piece of it, and you can see me react to it. Yeah, we get to hang out with 801 and 801 Labs, so that would be really fun. And yeah, it's a week long. You think HackerCon, I'll put it this way, Hope Online was a week long. I greatly enjoyed it, by the way, but that was a week long, and you can see on the live streams where we just covered the keynotes and some of the talks each day, we were nearly dead, and that staff was dead. I cannot imagine doing it in person for an entire week. Oh boy. But let's get into this. So as I pointed out with the hitch on this, what makes this really odd is not just how much of a big motherfucker sphincter this is, but the type of lock that this is. And it's something I haven't brought out in a while, and I'm going to admit something to all of you. The reason why I'm going through all of this is what's going to make this episode short. I'm still learning how to do this particular lock type. I am not an expert at opening these type of locks yet. So I will tell you right now that while you have seen me successfully open a lot of locks, including a lot of locks like these where I have no idea about it and I go at it and it works, I do not be surprised at all if I cannot open this. Okay? Just putting that out there. One of the reasons, again, why I love live streaming this stuff is because most lock picking stuff is pre-recorded, which is good, especially for the people doing this. It's huge time saver and stuff. What I feel is lost in translation, and this is not a negative criticism on people who do pre-recorded videos. You know, I love Lockpicking Laura, I love Lock Noob, I love Dark Arts Lockpicking, I love Fish Picks, I love all of those. Yes, basically, because the Saints are crazy, because they're crazy. Is that Saints go marching on? Is that I think what's lost is that makes it seem like every single person in lockpicking is an amazing grand. Okay, that's poor wording. That they're like a freaking space alien genius. Feels like 3 weeks because, well, Vegas. Yep. So, and also all the drugs you're taking, let's be honest, and the sandstorms. You get sand in places and you're completely high on Molly. It's nuts. But yeah, is that why I feel that's lost in translation here? Is that it makes everyone seem like they're uber experts, and obviously when you go to actual physical tool meetings and such, you will see even people like Lockpicking Lawyer try new things and struggle with it. And that's kind of what I've been told, particularly that's what they like about this live stream, is that even when I know what I'm doing, you can see when I've dropped tools or like I'm taking apart a lock and like a spring flies out and nearly kills me and things like that. just the stuff that you don't see on the videos, because since this is entirely, fuck it, we'll do it live, I don't edit this stuff out. And so you get to see what it's really like. That's why half of my episodes are me just like with Sirocyl being like, hey, I found this crazy lock. I want to add to your collection. Do you want to try this? And I do it on air because you get to see my methodology of like, okay, like if I don't know this, I research it. If I know this, what is this? How does this work? And you get to see me go through all of that. And sometimes I succeed and sometimes I fail. So you get a very realistic depiction of what it's like to do this on the field. Which, funny enough, from what I understand, is one of the goals of Lock Camp. And particularly the amazing lineup you had with Sky Pirate Actual and Tactical, Uncensored Tactical and stuff, is like actually doing this out there where you're not like on a table and it's not like a pre-recorded video and you're like stuck underneath a car in like 9 billion degree heat in order to like wedge a stuffed animal from under the vehicle that someone put a an American lock 900 underneath. Something bullshit like that. And that's what I try to capture on here in the privacy of my own home privacy. And definitely, by the way, we are going to go on the break after I do this. So what type of lock body is this? This is known as a Distitator. I've done a lot of practicing over the years because I'm going to be completely TMI. Sorry for the swear word. I keep accidentally slipping and calling these dick detainers. So if you ever see me pause and I'm like, this is a disc detainer, that's because I'm trying not to say that. I'm worried that one day I'm going to be at like LockCon or something, and like for some reason I'm like the keynote speaker and there's a billion people and I'm like, the dick detainer, and then just everyone dies laughing and they just leave my talk. So yeah, I'm just putting that out there. So these are disc detainers. They're called that because they, instead of having pins, I don't know how well you can see this in here. I'm going to try to zoom in and balance it. There's these flat circle discs. SCJ, there's a lot of cursed locks. Actually, when we did the multicolored locks, and maybe when I go on the bathroom break, I'll bring some of them out. When we did the whole Sparrows reload kit and I spray colored the locks, the black lock, which is 6 pins, we did it all security pins, and I had all of you key pins and driver pins out there live tell me what to put in which direction in order. And that thing is evil. I cannot wait to take it when tool meetings open back up and stuff, because I told people I've seen the episode and they're like, oh, that's evil. Your viewers are so evil. So I can't wait to try out the cursed lock. It would be fun for the Netherlands. Maybe. No. So Tool used to have lock cons in the United States. I know that Tool in the Netherlands, aka Almighty God, Tool HQ has them like nearly every year except for the pandemic. But there were some in the United States for a while. I hope they come back. If they don't, I would love to be in part of the process to bring them back. Just saying. But anyhow, so back to Distitator locks. Disc detainer. I didn't screw up. That's the microphone. There's I don't have them individually. There's going to be a future episode where I'll finally get like actual, including this Distitator like padlocks, and we'll go through all of them properly. Like it'll be its own episode. But once again, there's these little circular discs in there. And what they do is you need to bring all the pointed parts of the discs over to the unlock side, which moves this actuator and unlocks the lock. And the way you can always tell it's a Distitator is, one, if there's a flat slot. Two is that if you shake it or spin it around, you can actually move the different individual discs in there. And finally is the keys. If you look at the keys, these don't look like normal like keys that you see on a lock. And that's because they aren't. Instead, because when they have to rotate those discs, they cut little wedges. And not only do they cut wedges, but they cut them at different angles. That, and because you're dealing with 360 degrees of surface area, they're actually cut the same on both sides. Although I've heard of security ones where they do them in high security ones where they do them in such a way that not only do they have false chambers, which this might have, it's kind of like having security pins on a lock, but that they also cut them at different angles on each side. But for most of them, it's the same angle because they basically want to move at the same rate. So, yeah, Lockfest is the United States, LockCon is EU. When I say con, I mean convention in general. There used to be lock conventions done by Tool USA in the United States. I would love for that to come back. Or, like you said, a lock hotel would be great. And I know that every year they do it in the Netherlands. That's like the main HQ because SSD is not doing anything anytime soon because that's what they're known for. Ha! Sorry, you guys make great hooks, and you guys are also awesome at RC3. So I hope to see the SS Dev people there. SS Dev people there when I'm doing that. So I'm going to go through this, and then we're going to try. We're going on a break because nature's definitely calling right now, and I'm pretty sure none of you want to see that live. I don't even want to see it live, and I'm me. But what you do is when the discs are all properly lined up, you put the key in there. And now, this is not retaining when you put it in there, so that you're not going to collide with anything. And as you can see in the lock, and let me try to do another focus again, so hopefully you can see this properly. As I turn, it's going to move these different discs at different times at different rates. Go on the other side, you can see it. So they're moving them at different speeds. And then once they're all over, all Distitainers are not spring loaded, so you actually have to pull down on the shackle for it to open. Now, the question is, one of the reasons why they do these sort of things is not, in addition to them being like good anti-weather, how the hell do you take normal lock tools that you use 99% of the time? Like, how do you tension this? What do you do here? You can't. So most people, especially beginners, will not know what the hell this is. And even intermediate people, especially if they've never encountered this, will give up because none of their tools will work. They'll try to like actually physically break the lock or something. Well, Lock Hotel's coming to a hotel in Texas. Cool. So I'll put it this way. If that happens, I'll have to only choose one. So it's either going to be Lock Camp or Lock Hotel. And then whatever one I don't go to next year, I'll go to the other one in 2003. Does that make any sense? Cool. So as with most lock stuff, if you encountered a security problem, it's always, God, the pair. There's always one of two things, right? Either I have actual security things in the pin and tumbler locks, such as security pins, I must have pathological, paracentric keyways, etc. Or they're using a different lock system, so you literally don't have the tools to do this. The crazy part is that pretty much all locks structurally, in terms of moving individual pieces, if they're not combination locks and they're like, you have the bitting on a key and that moves different things and opens, they all have the same method. You do tensioning on them, which binds the lock body. You use another tool, a pick or a feeler, to move those pieces. You find the ones that are stuck and you move them in place. And then eventually everything hits its shear line and it opens. All of them are the same way. Lock Cruise. All right, you're going kind of crazy here. Lock Cruise, Mississippi. Okay, I'll give you one. I'll take it to its most logical conclusion, huh? How about Lock Space? You partner up with SpaceX and Space Force, and we all go to like some cruise shuttle right next to the International Space Station, and we'll pick locks in space, which will be interesting because I'm pretty sure for most locks, except for maybe Distitainers, gravity might not affect the lock bodies because they're already tensioned using springs. But it would be interesting, particularly on the people, to see what zero gravity does to lock pickers in space, including what I'm going through with my bowels right now. But anyhow, like I said, all of these tools are the same. And so what you're going to need is, now this one is not going to work here, and it's not going to work in the other one. This one has a bottom of the keyway tensioner, but it works with the same way. So it's like you have this alien thing. I'm going to bring this out after the break. This is the one we're going to use. It's the tool that lockpicking lawyer and Bosnian Bill made. You know, that meme came to life, done by Sparrows. But basically what it is that it's the same thing where when you put this in, it's going to tension, in this case, the thing that's spinning around here on the bottom, that's the bottom of the keyway tensioner. If it was top of the keyway, the tensioner would be up here, but you tension all the gates, and then you use this feeler thing to move up and down, and you rotate the individual discs and put them in place. So it's the same concept as the individual tension wrench and pick in a pin and tumbler or wafer system, but because of the way the discs are designed, and because it's 360 disc system, you have to use a different tool set. And that's what we're going to get into after the break. So you're not Bitcoin rich. Lockspace, yeah, well, who knows? If you talk to the right scammy, scrupulous people in the Bitcoin world, you could probably con someone in order to do Lockspace, especially Elon Musk, because, anyhow, we're going to take this sip. Unfortunately, the one thing lockpicking can't solve is when nature calls. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to rehydrate. I'm going to grab a bunch of locks that I wish I actually had here in order to show you some things. And we're going to use the tool that Bosnian Bill and lockpicking lawyer made. on this Distitainer coupler, and we're going to see if we can get it open. So it says, anyone with extra billions and billions of dollars, cough, Elon Musk, want to sponsor Lockspace and hit me up. So yeah, Elon Musk, if for some reason you're mad at us because we make fun of you all the time at DCG201, I mean, come on, you're just hilarious. You're like Mark Zuckerberg or Windows File Manager. You're just hilarious. And you want to sponsor something really cool and make us shut up and not make fun of you anymore, or at least for like a year, go sponsor Lockspace from the people at Lockcamp. But anyhow, I'm going to go take a break. You're going to enjoy the music. I should be back within a minute or 5. And then we're going to go and we're going to try this lock. And if we have a little bit of time at the end, I don't think we're going to watch the whole keynote. But if we have a bit of time, we might play, if I can make it work, a little bit of the St. Conn's keynote with Lockpicking Lawyer, just so you can see what my reaction is. So anyhow, I'll be back. Enjoy the music. And I'm going to post the link again in chat where you can donate via Tiltify for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals, where you can help sick kids, COVID, mental illnesses, injuries, or what have you. I actually read that there's a new shooting in Wisconsin that's not related to Kenosha. Might be a shooting. Vehicles ran over a bunch of people during a parade. It was horrific. And there was definitely children in the confirmed injured. Thankfully, no one dead yet. And, you know, Astro World, enough said. Literally, enough said. Don't want to talk about it. But if you want to help out kids, end of December, beginning of January, pediatric hospitals and wings all across the United States, Canada, you can donate via Tiltify. We have a widget at the bottom for people on Twitch. We have a QR code in the corner that kind of works, but mainly I'm going to post the donation link in chat. I am going to watch the whole keynote in full later. Sirocyl got it beforehand, so I'm not spoilers. And I'm going to go nature calls. We're going to come back. We're going to deal with this guy. And please donate, even if it's just $1 or $3 towards this, because even if we don't reach our goal, if it's like only like $135 by December, by January 1st, all that money is still going to go to help these hospitals to pay for care, to pay the doctors and nurses that are understaffed, underpaid, and underfunded, and all of that, so that we can at least make some people's lives better in this craptastic post-2016, post-2020, currently pandemic, crazy, stupid world, Apple car metaverse world that we live in. Okay? There's one part I'm going to like. Cool. I never thought Lockpicking Lawyer would get naked. Anyhow, I'm going to go on break. I'll be back in a minute or 3. Enjoy the music, and I'm going to post a donation link. So stay tuned. We're not done yet. We're going to have about half an hour left of this, okay?
The floor is lava!
We like to party every day, party every day. Party every day, party every day. We like to party every day, party every day. Party every day, party every day. We like to
And we are back. So yeah, I completely forgot that there is one person who is a personal friend of mine who is unfortunately stuck on Facebook, so they're watching it through Facebook. And there is a way to chat with us. Don't worry, I'm not invisible. I'm about to walk on the screen in a moment. But that because of the way Restream works, which is what we're using to broadcast to all of you, that there is a way to chat, and I had to post that in the chat. So there it is in the chat. I'm also once again going to post the direct link to the fundraiser, just in case you don't have the QR code lined up, or if you're on Twitch, there's a widget below. If you're on any other platforms, none of those work. I just posted the direct link in the chat. I hope everything is going on the stream well, because I think there's a huge ass delay on the TV. Let me just double check for a second. No, we're still good. Okay, so yeah, here we go. This is super delayed. So we're back. Sorry for the mishap. I feel a lot better and about 10 pounds lighter. Now I can rehydrate. So let's go over what we've gone through so far. Master of Unlocking, the show on the first and third Sunday of the month, where now my nose is running for no reason, and I need to go catch it, where we look at locks and security systems and try to defeat them. Hang on. Sorry, gross time off camera. I'm using the hardest tissue substance known for man for this. Watch, my eyes are going to melt out, and then my left leg's going to fall off. It's just going to be freaking magical. Just quickly check it out. But we're going to quickly go over what's going on today. I'm just going to message my friend here. I'm just doing that, and I want to message someone else. But yeah, this is the show where we look at physical security on locks, mainly locks, and we find security flaws with them and how to bypass them. What the? Sorry, I just got a notification from njnews.com, and it says, man says he ate 2,000 meals at Six Flags, which enabled him to pay off his student loans. Welcome to this state. At least we're not. We're not Kenosha. At least that. Oh man, I can't wait to look at that one later. So behind the scenes. We're trying to launch this new once a month show where we like go over like as like group members like all the crazy hacker rumors, and we define hacks really broadly, whether they're scams or ransomware or CVs or any old thing like that. And I think we're gonna have to probably cover that on an episode. Thank you, social media on my phone. Thank you so much for putting that nightmare in our head. Again, just give me a moment. My phone's really slow. I just realized I need to really message a friend of mine on this about that. We're streaming right now. I am going to get to that. But while I am waiting for this old phone to take 8 million years to do anything, I do want to mention that, again, like I posted in chat, we are trying to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. These is a charity organization that are part of multiple pediatric and children's hospital, pediatric wings and children's hospitals across the United States and Canada. And even before the pandemic, there's no insurance, no staff, and no pay for the staff for a lot of these because this is America. Post-pandemic, you don't even want to know. Where, like, I'll put it this way, most of the third world countries that the United States used to lap in the 90s are way better than us in terms of, especially in terms of health stuff. So, okay, so there's some bunch of interesting mix of messages. So we're trying to raise $600 by the end of the year. So by January 1st, any money that we get, even if it's less than $600, will go to helping sick children across the United States and Canada, including what are called the Children's Specialty Hospitals. There's 14 of them in New Jersey, but these will be evenly distributed everywhere. Okay, so let's go through. Hold on a second. And there's, again, the QR code, which you can scan with your phone. We promise it's not like a weird malware. If you're on Twitch, there is a widget below that will open to the donation. And I posted the donation link in chat. I know that we're hackers, so it sounds like we're doing unscrupulous stuff and doesn't help that I'm not looking at you and looking at my phone right now. But this is being handled by Tiltify, which is a reputable charity program that handles all the donations and the money. That's the interface you're going to be going through. So you don't have to worry. We're not Bitcoin miners pumping and dumping here. We're not here to scam you with that. We want to actually help out sick children because we're hackers and that's what we do. And that, again, even if we don't meet our $600 goal by the end of the year, all the money that's donated will go directly to these hospitals via the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So just putting that all out there, and now that that is almost done, I love that. You know what's weird? My phone is fast like 99% of the time, and then anytime where I want to do something with any sort of urgency, it slows down to Temple OS levels. It turns into Google Chrome loading the front page of the New York Times, and I'll put it this way: DCG 201 co-founder G.I. Jack gave me this phone. That's all you need to know. That is all you need to know. Jack is great for Arch Linux. Everything else, woof. I'm just gonna message my friend that I posted the link for Facebook to get you to chat if you want, and then I am not looking at this phone anymore. There we go. So let's do a quick recap of what we're going through. Sirocyl, because he loves me, hates me, or both, found this thing at a yard sale, or a flea market, called the Warlock. Double pun. That's made in the United States. So basically, if this lock opens, it shoots you with an AR-15. It came with no keys. It's a vehicle coupler. You hook this to a truck, and you hook an even bigger thing to a truck, or a truck together, or a boat in a truck, so you can make Squidbilly's Early Kyler's truck boat truck in order to move things with your truck, and like in those terrible old car commercials. He had a Pine phone. There's a show that I'm going to explain next month of why it's not on. That's called Archvile Linux Perspective. That was Jack's show. And he did an episode with a Pine phone where I think at the end he was finally, after like 3 hours of live streaming, he was finally able to boot it. So I'm glad it's not that. But again, this is the man who thought he was going to use the Pine phone in order to like talk with like the 4G nanobots in the vaccine and stuff. Not that he believes that at all. But I'll just give a description. He thought he was going to use this as like his main school hacker phone, and after like 5 hours of barely getting it to work, he's like, I'm done. Which is what the Motorola he gave me feels like. That this coupler came with no keys, and after doing an investigation here, it says it's a trailer kingpin lock, deflects the fifth wheel plate with a thief tractor for untethered trailers. What the hell? Okay, someone in chat that is like from the sticks or something, can you tell me what a thief tractor is? I just imagine like a tractor spray painted in black with like tactical camo highlights, and like a hillbilly with a beard with like a domino mask on, like driving at 3 a.m. in the morning trying to like pick up like Waffle Houses hitched to trucks and things like that. I don't know. And what we figured out is, as it says here, rotating disc lock technology. It's a Distitator lock. All future locks could be keyed alike, which is also fascinating in itself. Avoid lockout. Register your key at warlock.com. We actually might be able to use the numbers on here, figure out what lock this is, and if they registered the key, we actually might be able to just duplicate the key. End of episode. Good night, everybody. No, we're still going to use the Distitator fix and try to pick open this lock. And as it said inside this packaging, it says that the instructions are inside the packaging. I'm going to see if I can even open it even more, if I can, with my puny T-Rex arms. I just want to open it to that degree, because they're correct in that this pre-owned lock actually has instructions on the inside. It says here, installing and use instructions. The Warlock Kingpin is designed to fit all standard trailers. Install the lock. You slide the lock fully up over the Kingpin. Oh, so that's the Kingpin is the... Okay, I'm dumb. My dad owns a truck. I don't. Push the lock. I'm not rich. Push the lock cylinder inwards until it clicks in place. Helpful hint. Slip a thin plastic grocery bag over the kingpin prior to installing the lock to reduce the amount of grease adhering to the lock. That is such like a hillbilly hack. That's amazing. That's probably something you see at St. Con. Maybe from Texas, but I have no idea what you're saying. Hopefully I hope you can hear me, because if you don't understand like my voice, like if I'm coming out chipmunked and stuff, I could actually double check. No, I'm good. In terms of this stuff, yeah, this Chinese reads Greek to me. I think my aunt, I should have put my aunt on the phone and tried to have her, because she's from Texas. Remove the lock. You insert the key into the lock cylinder. Hold the lock firmly and turn the key clockwise approximately 3/4 of a turn. That's way too specific. Just turn the key. Pull the lock cylinder out to release the lock. I think that's the inside cylinder pulls up. That's the actual thing here. So as you can see in this diagram, you have the kingpin here, famous villain of Spider-Man. And then you have the lock cylinder, so it goes on flat side. I guess this is underneath the truck. And then the Warlock kingpin lock. So that's how it goes. On the other side, it has more instructions. Maintenance lubricant. This is my favorite instruction piece, for wholesome reasons. Warlock recommends that the TKP-10 receives a spray of Slick 51 lube every 90 days to keep the key mechanism working properly and to protect the lock from damages caused by road salt and dirt. One lube is an aerosol spray lubricant that will not turn into a gritty powder and dry, unlike other lubricants. I'm looking at you, WD-40. Slick 51 lube can be purchased at our website, so they're just shilling their own shit. Now, how to apply it and all of that type of crap. I don't have that brand of lube. What I do have is Lock Dry Lube. Even though it's lube, you're going in dry. And I have the little hose plastic straw that you can't get anymore because of New York. Since 1984, good year, by the way. 3-in-1. It penetrates and lubricates, because that's what I do. Won't attract dirt, which is something else that I do all the time, and is anti-corrosion, or as Donald Trump says, no corrosion or collusion. I can't remember which one. Hillbilly hacks, correct. So I remember thinking, because this is outdoor shit, you have no idea how many times we've done a pre-owned lock and it won't open, and then I spray it with a little bit of lock lube, wait a bit, and then it opens up, and that's all really needed. It's just like your partner, all you need is a little bit of lube on the hole, and it opens right up. So, worst comes to worst, we might try that. I have a feeling, because I'm really terrible at Distitator locks, that's not going to work, but we'll see. So anyhow, as a recap, as I said, normally you have locks like these. These are pin and tumbler locks. We kind of all know what these are. This is master lock number 3, and provided that I didn't grab the wrong master lock number 3, because I do need to re-lube them, as the children call it. And you just go in and you put some tension on it, and you move the pins up and down. And I think I'm over-tensioning it because I'm dumb. Oh, there we go. And it opens. And this is the only other coupler that I have. And we're going to use the same bottom of the Keyway tension wrench. I love doing this. It's like a bad Copperfield magic trick. Yep, penetrates and lubricates. This is why I want to do lock stuff with DCG 201 and Exotica next year. We've been wanting to do this for 3 years in a row. Just because I have to tell people there's literally almost no way. I think it's literally impossible to teach locks and not make innuendos. It's literally impossible. You can't do it. So you just have to be hee hee ha ha and move on. But we're going to use this half ball, and as you've timed it before with the master lock, it also opens as crappily as these things. And this is important just because this is a much smaller, simpler hitching lock that I've also seen people stupidly use as normal padlocks. And like most hitch systems, you seem to use pin and tumbler systems. This is a wafer lock system. This one, as we saw with the packaging, and if we look into the lock itself here, this kingpin lock, is a disc detainer lock, which is what this thing is, where you have these little tiny circular discs. This is a clear version of a Distitator padlock. These little tiny discs with little prongs at the end inside. And these keys, unlike the up and down cuts, they have these little slot cuts at different angles on both sides. What you do is you stick the key in. There's no spring, so you have to actually pull the shackle out when it opens. And because of the different degrees of cuts, it will move the discs and the little ends on the disc all at different speed rates all the way to the other side. And when they all line up, So it passes shear line. That moves these ball bearings out of the way. That's the actuator, and then it opens the lock. Even though this looks completely alien to the pin tumbler and even the wafer lock system, this does the same. This has the same logic as all other locks. You need a tensioner and you need a pick. And the thing though is that normal lock picks don't work on this. You need a specialty pick, one that you can insert in tension, and then a 360-degree little rotatey thing in order to move them around. Now, when we do the dedicated episode, because again, I'm not the best at this and I'm still collecting. Basically, I'm trying to get. I'm trying to do something different that I'm going to point out here with the Distitator lockpick. And also I'm going to try to get 2 padlocks that are Distitainers that are not this, because this would be really cumbersome to bring to tool meetings, although I will bring it to a tool meeting when they open back up. But I'm looking for 2, and I'm trying to look for at least one that's a bottom tensioner, like this one, where this rotating part tensions the bottom, and then this part actually moves the individual wheels. So this is the pick, and this is the tensioner. Basically, Detainer locks combine the picks and tensioners all together. If you've ever seen a Mr. Leashy lock tensioner system, it's like this similar concept where it's the same thing together. You could be most people choose not to. Well, choice. Except people really should get vaccinated because it's like, hey, rogue guns are shooting at us. Here's free bulletproof vest. No, I don't want that. My choice. Then later on, I got hit with a bullet. If there was only something that could stop the bullet. Shock Pikachu face. Why did this happen to me? Nobody told me this was coming. I'm going to sue. Beep. That's all I'm going to say about that. But here's what we have here that we're going to try to use on this thing. There's a reason why I'm going to say try. This is the case for it. You can get this at Sparrows. And as you can see on the back, this is the infamous tool that Lockpicking Lawyer and Bosnia and Bill made. You probably heard them always said, me and my friend Bosnia and Bill, or me and my friend Lockpicking Lawyer made for years, and people kept making fun of it. And then they finally were like, we're sick and tired of the memes, we're actually going to release this product. And what this is, and I showed this off on an episode, so I'm going to go really quick, is this is the Sparrows Distitator Lockpick. In all of its amazing glory. I'm actually going to put this down flat, zoom in. See what's a good one here. That, and then focus. So this thing comes with multiple stuff. First of all, let me actually just take the main tool out. It's very vacuum phone. Very well lubricated, very easy to use. It's enough tension, enough thing. Yeah, Pretty Sparrows. It's about a year old, so it's technically not new, but yeah, I keep it in good condition. It's all shiny and shit. And what you have here is this is the top of the Keyway Tensioner. So if you see this little piece here, that's going to stick on the top part, and that's going to rotate the entire core all at the same time and lock up the lock body, just like you do with the bottom or top of the Keyway Tensioner in a pin and tumbler lock. And then this little whirly, twirly, burly, whirly thing, you go up and down on, and this will actually rotate the individual discs. These handles rotate here. And what I really like about the Sparrows one is that you have this little grid, so you can kind of, to some degree, map out where all the different discs are. So you don't have to constantly guess where the third disc is. If you are all the way in the body, if you're on the front of the system, you'll know how many basically discs there are. The skies apart and the angels rejoice with the tool pouring from Sparrows. Yes! I will say right now, just full disclosure, funny enough, also full disclosure comes from the lockpicking world. That's a fun piece of information. So if you're an InfoSec, please thank a lockpicker because that's where your terms come from. I have tools from a bunch of different places. In fact, the clear locks I believe I got from Goso. There's a funny story about how I was actually supposed to get something different, and they sent me that by accident, but that was something I was planning to get a year later anyhow, so I just kept it. Most of my stuff is from Sparrows. One of these days I'm going to do an episode where I sit down and I talk about just dedicated shopping for all of this crap. I've done pieces of it and people have asked me them on episodes, and I always stop the episode, go over, bring up the browser and go through of how you shop for this and like what to get if you're a beginner, how to shop. I'm going to do an entire episode, maybe in December, probably in January, about how you actually shop for all this crap. But most of my stuff is from Sparrows because personally I feel that most of Sparrows stuff has the right balance of like quality builds. They're not the best quality builds, but they're nowhere near the worst either, in my opinion. So most of their tools are functional, good quality for the money that you get. Like you look at the Tuxedo and it has like everything in the kitchen sink that a beginner and intermediate would need, and it's basically between $25 and $30. Perfect. Like that's what you think. You don't want you don't want a beginner set that's like $80. Looking at you, some of you survivors, survivalists groups that sell lock bypassing stuff. So Santa, is that you? I told you Christmas is not. There's like a thumping sign. Told you Christmas is not here yet. Stay in your lane. Okay, December 1st. Wait, what is this? This what? So we're on the 21st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 30th. I think there's only 30 days. 9 days. Okay, you could be like Samara instead of 7 days, 9 days. Go back in your well, and then you can show up and fucking Christmas this place. Okay. If you keep knocking, I'm gonna bring out the crossbow. Right? Jeez. So I'm sorry, you're gonna have to put up with the weird thumping in the background because welcome to Jersey City. So anyhow, that's what this Distitator is. Now, you also get this little Allen wrench and these little nubs because you could actually take this apart and not only adjust some of the handles and stuff here, but you can also just take the entire head out and put a replacement head, which you do get. Now, there is kind of a giant flaw with this Distitator. Rook Knight was the one to point this out. And the problem is, if I get to it, I also like that there's a little screw nub here so you can kind of know where like one side of it is. So when you spin it, I kind of know where like the side is here. Is how thin, and I move it closer. Do it again. Let's actually use a case here, even though it's black on black. But yeah, this little head, it's really thin. And the reason for that is because this is actually designed for high-end security Distitators, which I don't know if this coupler, this heavy piece of shit, is or not. You're thinking, well, why does that matter? I mean, 15,000 of an inch, while they're flimsy, can also open up master lock number 3s. This is where things get different. The plastic clear lock that I got from Goso had a wide head, a way thicker head for the tension tool. That broke. I have to weld it back again. The tip of it broke. I probably should just get another one anyhow. The problem is that that wide head works on low-end, shitty Distitator locks. The thin ones are designed to move around the different gaps in a high security where the wafers are thinner, and also allows you to feel better for false gates or false gates and true gates for the disc. The thinner head makes this really annoying to attempt to pick with a with this. And Rook Knight was actually the one that brought up of how annoying it is, because you'll probably not see it here, but the issue is that, so I'm like tensioning it, is that like I keep like these discs are so wide and the gaps between them that my pick is actually getting caught in between the different discs. And so not only will it get stuck, but I can't feel properly, there's the back one finally, where each disc is. It's like basically so precise, and the gaps between these low-end shitty ones are so bad that I can't feel. It's hard for me to decipher where they are. And look, see, it's like stuck in here, so I have to like fiddle with it in order to get this out and hope it doesn't break, and then I'd have to use the replacement one. Rook Knight has a great video where apparently there is a type of like screw you can find at Lowe's and Home Depot that you can then Dremel down and polish to make a thick head version, so you could replace it and basically have one turning tool. And when you realize you have a low end one, you just replace it with the thick head one. When you have a high end security order, you replace it with a thin head one. I haven't done it yet. I hope to do that probably in February, and I will live stream making that following Rook Knight's video and instructions. I highly recommend type in Rook Knight lockpicking in YouTube and check his channel out and find that video. I haven't done that yet, which means never mind my own lackluster skill level currently with Detainers, but I'm looking in here. I don't think this is a high security one. I think this is a low security one. So I might have the same problem with this guy, okay? So I'm just putting that out there just so you all know. And we're going to try that right now. And the main problem that I'm going to have with this is I have no idea how we're going to do this while on camera. So it's probably going to have to be off-pointed. But I'll show you the first step that you do with these is you take, I usually take a bottom of the keyway tension tool. You kind of stick it in there and use the thickest one you can get, you know, like she said. And you line up all the gates so that way they're all in the same configuration. Let's see if I can maybe use this guy. This is actually, which is something I've been meaning to do, a great way and reason to, sometimes I just use the keys too. Great tool and reason. God, that sounds so creepy. What are they doing? It's like some sort of construction tool or reason to line up all of these. You just use a thick shaft metal. It is a nice mod. I can't wait to finally use it. So what we're going to have to do just for safety, because I nearly just scrunched my finger there, is I'm going to actually angle the camera down. I'm going to angle this camera over. We're going to refocus. And you are going to watch my crotch, but mainly you're going to watch me. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to go from the side. And we'll see how I can do. This is going to be a short part. I'm probably going to spend at max 10 minutes doing this. And I love this table because this table is so tall and the couch is so short that it really makes me look like a midget. Now that we have these all lined up, put it in like this. Tension it that way. Go all the way into the back if I can. Started getting stuck on some of these. Yeah, I think I might be in the back here. All right. I think we need just light tension. Feel that turned all the way in the back. There are definitely, I have a better feeling for this, but there are definitely, I think that one just set. There are definitely gaps in between the different discs that I'm feeling right now. And that's another problem, is because this is also so thin, it's actually really difficult for me to, pull this out or push it back in if I have a disc set. This was the thicker one, I'd be able to more maneuver around and do that. I'm actually going to have to restart, and we're going to have to do this in such a way that I hope I can actually get the tool out of here, and I hope I didn't accidentally break the head either, because that would mean it'd be 2 for 2. Nope, I did not break the head, but now we're going to have to go in with a tool and reset the different gates here. This is really, the gates are freaking huge, and because they're so huge, because again, they're designed to be outdoors, there are gaps. There are gaps in the gate system. So, there we go. So I'm getting stuck on those essentially. This would have been honestly a really cool thing to bring to Lock Camp, simply because, there we go. Simply because, oh, get stuck there or not. Simply because one, it's a camping hitch coupler, so that would have been funny. But two is that I'm pretty sure there are people who are way more experienced with Distitator locks than I am, who could probably crack this one open. So just a note, if we don't get this open today, that has nothing to do with technically of how secure or not secure this particular lock is, and it would have everything to do with that this tool is not designed. Ooh, my butt just vibrated. There we go. With the phone out of the way. Was not designed for low level thick ass discs like this. This was designed for like the type of Distitator locks that you get in like Germany, where there's false gates and super thin disc wafers. And this is why I'm actually like, even though I have a spare, I'm like legit concerned that yeah, I'm assuming that this is designed for like one of those like either an insane deluxe RV, or it might be like designed for like a type of truck system where you're attaching like an extra like food compartment, or like something where you put a ton of rocks in. That's especially considering how heavy duty it is. That's what I can imagine. Oh, okay. See, Sirocyl just came out, and apparently he likes watching me while I do this because that gets him off. But it's more well, this gets a lot of people off. That's why I'm live streaming this. But I thought he was coming out and I thought he was gonna say something like, "There's a deer with a shotgun on the roof" or something like that. Because there's just like weird banging sound outside. That's why when the stream ends, that's where the fun begins. Because I get to go upstairs at like a little.
Also, hi.
So I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes on this. It's really tricky because again, I'll put it this way: I am definitely not the most skilled at Detainers. I am still learning all of this for Detainers. I'm going to reset these. I'm going to try this, I think, 1 or 2 more times, and then we'll call it an episode.
I mean, could I try maybe?
You could try.
Okay.
Just know to be, because how thin this head is, be like you have to be forceful but gentle. It's weird.
Yeah.
But I think even Sirocyl, if he tries this, he's gonna feel what I've been talking about, which is like, and watch, he just opens it by accident. Is that that's one of my favorite things, by the way, Trick. If you don't have a solid piece of metal to rotate the disc, get any Distitator key and fiddle around with it, and then we'll line up all the gates. Even though it won't open the lock. Although, actually, now I'm curious. Well, it got decently far, but it doesn't open. So this actually might be close to the bidding of the crappy Chinese plastic lock.
Wow.
Again, so even if I was more skilled at this, I do know from talking to other lock sporters that and can you move it a little bit? Let's be like, yeah. There we go. Ta-da! That normally I'd move it down, but I'm too lazy today. This Sparrows Distitator wall is an extremely good tool. And then you tilt the camera up.
Yep, got it.
Is that there you go. The thin head on this, it's just like I know men with problem like males with problem like this. The thin head on this, it's designed for high security. It keeps going into the gaps of these way thicker. Screw that one up. See, I'm already caught. Way thicker plates, because when they make the plates this thick, and it's mainly designed because this is designed for like being outdoors. There is a gap. There are multiple like gaps that basically in a Distitator lock, from what I understand, the gaps are as big as the actual plates. So when you have these thin ones, the gaps in them are also as equally paper thin, and this is also why did not hit for some reason. And this is why they actually use those gaps to make the false gates. The problem with these big ones is that if the discs are like half a centimeter thick, the gaps are too. And that's what currently the Sparrows version of the Distitator gets stuck on. Again, I wish I downloaded it, but we're going to do an episode of it probably in February where Rook Knight had that exact same problem with this tool, because otherwise it's absolutely fantastic. Because that was his whole thing, is that he wants to use this. It's just that. But the saving grace is that you can replace the heads on these. That's why they give you a spare, because they know you could potentially break something off this thing. So what he did was he found a compatible screw. There we go. Found a compatible screw that he could shave down into the shape of a thick Distitator head. And that's what he now does, is when it's a cheap piece of crap like this, not that this is a piece of crap, but it's like a cheapo one with the bigger disc, you can just change it out for the fat-headed one, and then when it's a high security like SS Dev design one, he can then switch it out for the original Sparrows one, and then he has at least two of those for high security. So there's that one. I just accidentally slipped into a gap of one of those. By the way, another thing, and I'm shocked, I've only had one person ask me this in person, which is that, yes, turning, get in there. When I do this, I do have a mental, like, picture in my head of, like, the layout. It's like, I've never asked someone who's visually impaired this. Wait, what's going on?
I'm just reading the chat.
But I would probably compare it to what I imagine, especially when I've had to like practice Braille and stuff, what blind people must mentally see when they do this. And yes, there are blind lock pickers. If you think lock picking lawyer is nuts, you do want to run into one of these. Because usually what I'm doing with my students is I actually try to basically untrain them. Like when I first start teaching people how to pick, I know I'll get one person in a group that is trying to look inside the lock hole as they're picking, and that's what you don't want to do. It's like, this is why often like you'll see professionals like actually on purpose look away like they are visually impaired, because it's all about the feel, and in quiet situations when no one's on the roof, it's, you can sometimes hear things, but it's mainly about feeling. And so when I'm moving through here, I literally have a mental picture right now of where all the different disc wafers are. I will say that I'm still learning the layout of these, so it's not a perfect map. Like if I drew it, it'd be like that one police sketch where they drew that one guy like a stick figure, and that's actually what he looked like. But I do have a mental layout of like I can see the discs and I can kind of see where the gaps are. And I have an idea of where the head is, and I'm like moving around. It's like the picture is like 1-to-1 correlating with my movements. And I can tell you right now, the main problem with me trying to open this, and again, I'm also inexperienced at this. So I'm not saying, oh, if the tool's full, otherwise I'd be a genius. No, I'd still be sitting here for like an hour or three. Because I'm like that with all Distitainers. I'm like that with the clear plastic Distitator. I can see in it, and I'm still like that. But what's going on here is that I just got stuck there. I'm trying to unstick it. It's getting caught between the gaps and the wafers. When I do catch them, they do move. But trying to pinpoint the right in the middle of the thick wafer for me to move is tricky. It's basically so big that it's like actually like less. It's so big that it's actually like I'm using too much precision. I'm essentially trying to, as G.I. Jack, our co-founder, put it, I'm trying to right now swat a fly with a sledgehammer. That's exactly what this feels like. Or actually, more accurately, reverse. I'm I'm sorry, like that's normally what it would be like if like certain security things with single pin picking on a normal pin tumbler. Right now, I am trying to snipe a specific point on an elephant at point blank range. Like where it's like I have a precision thing, but it's so huge and I'm so close to it that I can't hit the thing that I want. It's like how we think we're on a flat piece of land with Earth, even though Earth is round. It's just we're so small and the Earth is so huge we perceive it as flat. That's what's going on here. Unless you're one of those weirdos that I occasionally get hilarious flyers for on the New York subway. I'll say right now, one of the dumbest things is there's an actual anti-vax group going around New York, and regardless if you are for the vaccine or against the vaccine, I think you can all agree that this thing is stupid. They're an actual group, and they leave up these like cryptic notes on mainly the New York subway, but occasionally they leave them on the PATH train. I recently also found out that I'm not the only one that destroys those things. Like the actual transit police don't destroy them. The people on the train, they literally go on the PATH train and go, "What the fuck?" and walk up, read them, like, "This is shit," and they destroy them. So we literally do what the transit police don't do. It should be doing. But what I hate about them the most, and this is the part where I really rolled my eyes. I took a picture of this. I should really upload it one day. Is that they call themselves White Rose. And not only is that some vague bullshit cryptic thing, but if you've ever watched the TV show Mr. Robot, the main villain in that, their pseudonym is called White Rose. So it's like you did the thing where you took the popular, it's like what QAnon does, where you took the popular culture thing. Like, so you're not like real hackers will just make shit up, to some degree, or make it like a super clever pun. Like we do this all the time. Like if you've ever downloaded like security software that's open source, there's probably some stupid pun that goes with the name. Like the normies, and I hate that term, but that's the best way I can describe them, are always like, yeah, it's called Operation Knight Rider. Okay, because we're at night and no, from the TV show Knight Rider, and like that's where it's stupid. Like that's how you can always tell a mile away when like, to use punk terms, you're dealing with posers is when they do names like that.
Oh,
Are they
there's
trying
a
to
raid.
Oh god, we got a
And
raid?
you've got new followers. 0x Jelly, thank you for following.
Yes, thank you, Xerox Jelly. I'm also kind of confused because we do have a prompt for when we get rated on Twitch, so I don't know why it didn't pop up. I have to go into Stream Elements and check with that, because I'll put it this way, we're not using Streamlabs for obvious reasons. I'm way before, I'm a hipster. I was not using that piece of shit before it was cool.
Oh, Bergrito, thank you for following.
Thank you, Bergrito. These are, by the way, the most readable names so far. Usually every time someone follows us on Twitch, it's always like, thank you, C649827BJ684. There it is. Now
there it is.
With holy crap, 24 viewers. Okay.
Oh, thank you, GoPro Slow Yo.
Yes. Question. I'll explain what this stream is in a moment.
And Potate Cat, thank you for following us.
Yes, thank you. I hope you're a kawaii potate.
I mispronounced that. That's Bugrito, not Burgrito. Okay. I'm just hungry.
Yeah.
I want burgers.
There's that, and there's the other problem too of we've been raided a couple of times, and I've noticed every time we get raided, it's when I'm doing something that I know I'm going to fail at. Like I'm always like, I don't know, I'm gonna blow up my fingers. Raid time. It's like great. Now these people want to see me do amazing shit here.
Oh, and thank you, Footpicks for Sale, for following us.
DM us if you do have those pictures.
No, I don't want them. Thank you.
If you want email Sirocyl,
no.
I'm kidding. What I will say is for all of you on the stream, so if you don't know about this is a show about lock picking and lock sport. We try to do it lock security. This is on a giant lag delay, by the way.
I know.
Is that I'm not just trying to open this Distitator lock so you can watch me torture myself. I'm torturing myself because if you notice this banner above me, we are trying to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It's I think Santa just fell off the roof. We get to dissect the body later. That's going to be a fun hacker.
Woo.
Yay. The Pixar did happen. What my
the seat next
what my feet are sure. What, like my feet pics or the anyhow. we're trying to raise money. Actually, I'm going to need you to hop over there for 1 second. We're trying to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. It's a charity organization that goes across the United States. All you're going to have to do is you just have to paste in the chat.
Paste in the
Do
chat
it right now. Yeah.
Yep. Bingo.
Yep. Where they, children's hospitals, pediatric care. I love them being rated. We might actually physically get rated soon. That's fine. Okay. So serious time. We live in America, unfortunately. So there's no insurance and there's no like hospitals. We've been there. Like even like high quality hospitals are like, this is hilarious. Are understaffed. This is great. Are understaffed and underfunded, and this was before COVID. So up until January 1st, we're trying to raise $600 to help sick and injured kids with physical and mental disabilities across the United States and Canada. And so what he just posted in, he might have to post it again in a second, is we just post a link where you can donate through Tiltify. We don't touch any of the money. It goes directly through Tiltify. If you're on Twitch, like with the raid, you can scroll down. You'll see a widget on our page where you can donate. And we also have a QR code that's a little wonky, but if you scan that and it works, it'll go directly to the donation thing. And I would love if one of you raiders dropped like $1 billion right now if you're Elon Musk. But even if you're not like what we are, where we're like the reverse of whatever rich is. So we can't even say broke. But if you donate $1, $3, $5, that adds up. And even if we don't meet our goal, all that money will go directly to those kids. So if we only let's say raise by the end it's $140 and Jan 1st comes, it's $140, all of them will be there. But the best way to do it is the link that we're going to post in chat again. So just want to let everyone know during the raid for this. So what we've been doing so far is we're doing this big pain in the ass where we're looking at Distitator locks, which are set up different than pin and tumbler locks, where instead of moving the little pieces inside that's called the pins inside the lock, we are actually rotating discs so that we can open the actuator inside the lock. This is what this clear lock is what looks inside here. And we have the tools for this. This is known as the Sparrows Distitator because it's made from a company called Sparrows. Sponsored by the Vintage Computer Festival. Actually, we're not sponsored by anybody. Why?
Don't mind me. It's a laptop computer.
Why are you whipping out your?
Because I'm all for the classics.
You know your crotch was a classic, but I've heard rave reviews. So what we're doing here is I keep rotating the disc back, and in a moment, Sirocyl himself will actually try to take a crack at this and hopefully not break the tool, because I've been close to breaking this tool all night. The problem with the Sparrows Distitator pick, where the twirly whirly thing picks and this spinny thing here tensions, is that this pick head is too thin. These have the chunk discs that are in the practice lock, and the Sparrows one was designed for high security wafers, which are way thinner. And so as I rotate the discs in their proper place, the issue that we're going to come across here is that I keep falling into just like the commercials, I keep falling into the gaps between the discs and get stuck there. The few times where actually looking down the lock body is a legitimate thing you can do. So what we need to do is we actually have to line up the discs properly before we can do it. I just find it funny that it almost opens, so the bidding's not too off from the actual practice plastic lock that we have. It's just, never mind my inexperience with this particular type of lock set with this detainers. We're literally using the wrong tool for the wrong job. As I described earlier, I'm trying to graffiti the size of an elephant. I can't. I'm so close to this giant thing, I can't properly hit it. So that's what's going on. So I'm going to stick this part in. This front part here rotates the entire lock body. So we go. We're doing fairly light tension. And we're trying to put this all the way in the back, and I think we hit the back. Now I'm just going through. And what I'm feeling for here, by the way, is it's the same thing with the pin and tumbler locks. I'm trying to feel a disc that's sticking, but is not too sticky. Snap, crackle, pop. That reminds me of a good joke that I'm going to tell in a moment. But I'm trying to find a disc that's like partially stuck, and then I'm using that twirly thing to rotate the disc until it gets unstiff and it's gonna click in place, and I can actually feel when it does. And I clicked like 2 out of the 6 discs here. It's just the gaps and everything with how small. It's the same problem most women have in the United States. Their big complaint is how small the head is. Trying to maneuver around in here. And yes, I'm directly addressing the innuendos simply because, as I said earlier, it's literally impossible to teach locks without actually making innuendos. Unlike other tool members, I embrace it and I highlight them.
I mean, even Lockpick and Lawyer tried at his talk, and there was one part where he failed.
Okay, that's the thing. Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, he's also the one who does the amazing April Fool's episodes that I always look forward to.
I don't want to spoil what's going on.
Yeah.
You'll have to see it for yourself.
It's like The Matrix. No one can tell you lockpicking lawyers innuendo. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, you're not going back. Take the key pin. Story ends. Okay, I'm going to stop now.
Okay.
I'm not much of a fan of The Matrix, and by the way, I'm not looking forward to the new movie. In the same way, I am not looking forward to Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I already read the plot for that movie, and I'm already sad.
New movie? You mean Matrix 2?
No, it's The Matrix regurgitated. It's one of the R names, regurgitated, recycled. I've read leaks for it, and one of the things that they keep talking about is that there's so much different. Oh, thank you.
Oh, damn.
Foot picks for sale and GoPro Slow. You each donated $2 a piece. So we're at $169.
Nice.
$69. Thank you, Foot picks for sale, for getting $69 along with GoPro Slow, yo. Thank you so much for that. Anytime we get any bit of money to help out sick kids on this show, when we're doing fundraisers, this just happens to be the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It's always worth it for me.
I think just for that, I'll show you my feet. There. See? 1, 2, 3, 4.
God, they're dirty. You really need to wash this. They're dirty, but they're classic.
They're classic.
Matrix hairball. You know what's weird? So one of my partners recently got like a piece. This is TMI. Piece of fetish wear, and he has like some shades, and he took a picture in it, and I literally shared it on my own personal things, which you could go and try to dox me for. And what drives me crazy is I wrote there, how does this person look more like a Matrix character than any of the promo pics from the new film? That just bugs the crap out of me.
Oh, thank you, Doug Copeland, for subscribing
on YouTube. Yep. Thank you, Mr. Doug, and thank you for everyone now knowing your legal name. And yes, Apple too. You know what?
Apple too. This is a Macintosh classic.
Yeah.
What are you talking?
You know what I think they're trying to say here is we really need to haul ass in December and finally get back to doing a circuit breakers.
Yeah.
We've been having a crazy couple of months, to putting it extremely lightly, but I think in December we could do something. I'm trying to order something for myself anyhow if you can't make it, because it's like me with the locks, he has a billion things that he works on that like you should see. It's kind of crazy as when we're not streaming, and we've had 100 messages because you people in chat are crazy. Thank you so much. I want to say, if you do want to keep this donation train going and not have it so that we're 69ing each other over $100, very dirty. If Sirocyl can run over, you can post that link in the chat again. If you're on Twitch, there's also a little widget at the bottom of our Twitch channel where you can donate directly, and as you watch me suffer, and also if the QR code works, because I'm still modifying it, you can use that. But the main thing is for the chat. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one last college try. I'm going to do a Jersey City Community College try. One last try on this, and then when I don't do that, Sirocyl says that he really wants to take a crack at this, so I'm gonna let him. But watch, it opens for him. Yeah. Now this happens when something doesn't work for one of the hackers at DCG 201. The other one, they just sneeze and it opens. I mean, sneeze and it opens is also Florida, but yeah. All right. Oh, this is one's in the back. I just love that this key almost matches. I just think that's hilarious. There's 2 discs in the back that I need to properly light up here. I'm going to do one last try. Reset it again. God, we're going to have more computers than people here in a couple of months. This is why you don't... Okay, so Sirocyl is like... Him and Commander, especially together, they're like the tribbles of retro computing. As soon as he brings one thing in, he's going to bring all the computers in.
Yep.
Not that I'm complaining, I just honestly find it hilarious. Plus, to be honest, this is the most boring part. I warned everyone that this is going to be the most boring part of the episode because I really suck at Distitators and I literally have the slightly wrong tool for the job. Pun semi-intended.
So somebody asked, why the change from DC 201 to DC G 201?
Well, it's because of ACDC.
So DEFCON Groups they're basically the umbrella organization that covers all DEFCON groups.
Except they don't make the T-virus.
Right. And they recently, due to a lot of changing moods in the hacker sphere, they've decided that rather than using the DC numbers, that they would use DCG to further signify that they're DEFCON groups, not DEFCON themselves, because there had been problems in the past where people have either
Philippines.
oh yeah, either willingly or unwittingly impersonated the DEFCON core staff, and that's been a bit of a point of contention with the groups in the past.
And
so
to be honest, we've had that problem constantly.
Yeah,
that's
where
most
I
of our
say-
DMs.
yeah, that's where I say unwillingly, because people have gone to us asking questions about like DEFCON itself, and we have to keep saying no, we're not the people to ask about that.
And it doesn't help either, which is partly my fault that I write really awesome unofficial guides to hacker summer camps. And
I mean,
really, even though we say the thing, this is our group. Most of us don't even go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take this, and this is how we're gonna cyberly enhance the dead Santa that just fell off our roof.
Oh yeah.
Does this actually turn on, or?
If the battery can hold the charge.
I was actually afraid that you're gonna press that and then be on the stream because everything would have exploded.
Yeah.
Yes, we're from New Jersey, so everything is really awkward. Alright, I'm going to try these 2 in the back. 2 in the front, 1 in the back. Again, we're at 69. Oh, shit. Okay, so there's another donation for $25. It puts us 194. Wow, you guys are really racking in. I'm really excited because, again, my favorite streams are when we do charity runs. We usually do it for a month. This time we're only doing it for 3 months. Good night, GoPro Slow-Yo, bro, ho with a fro and a dough of Joe, and so thank you. I kind of don't know what to say because in a moment I'm about to give up and let Sirocyl tackle this stupid thing. This was his idea. It's his fault. So for once, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
And you know how rare that is? That's not my fault. All right, I'm done. This is going to be fun because I get to kind of like walk him through this. Actually, what I think I'll do for you is I'm going to readjust some of the cameras here.
Okay.
And first I'm going to reset this, and I'm going to actually have you practice on the clear one first.
Okay.
So you can kind of get the feel, and then you can try this thing.
Yeah.
Just so you're not going in completely blind.
Okay. I mean, I practiced on the clear one before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I mean, I'll do it again anyway.
So they're all already rotated. So you're going to have to pull this back so it's like lined up flat like that. And then push it all the way in the back, the actual body. Rotate it so it locks up. And then you start fiddling around in and out. Okay. You're going to feel it catch a lot. Because that's how thin, yeah. And don't forget to keep light tensioning it. I'm going to laugh if he opens this. Which is fine because, again, all of us lockpickers, shame covered in shame. You just described New Jersey. we all have, I know you don't see me right now, so you get to hear my wonderful voice. We all have different skills and abilities. Like I can tell you right now, while Night Owl is pretty much the closest thing you can get to a lockpicking god, to be honest, his specialty, in my opinion, is knowing the history of a lot of locks and lock companies and like iterations and designs and stuff like that. I also, to be honest, don't mind when people I also don't mind when people like do something. Unlike a bunch of people in InfoSec, I don't mind when people do something that they achieve something that I don't achieve because to me that tells me that I'm teaching people correctly. So honestly, if he's able to open this or get like a better advancement than I have received so far, that will make me happy because I've already gone over with Sirocyl about Detainers, even though it was like months ago. And so that will make me happy that he's able to do that. And again, one of these days I really want to find a padlock that is A, big enough for this to go into, and B, that I can use as bomb the Keyway Tensioner for. That way I can teach people how to do the two different tensions because it's kind of like petting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. So that's pretty neat. And honestly, because we have all these people in here, I'm probably going to, actually, while Sirocyl futs around with that, I'm actually going to refill my water again. I'm going to pass by the camera stupidly, like, this is college radio, but on video. And I am going to see if we can load up on the stream, and we'll watch part of Lockpicking Lawyer's keynote at SyncCon, even if I have to fast forward to the goofy part. And we'll do that reaction just because we have so many people watching right now. So that makes me really happy.
Okay, now I see. Okay.
So, actually, Sirocyl, can you tell the story of what this thing is and where did you find it?
Yeah, so I picked this up at a flea market in Journal Square. It was rather inexpensive. I'd say between $1 and $3. I don't remember offhand. And probably the reason it was so cheap was because it was missing its key. But yeah, it was just one of those things where I was like, oh, this is a funny lock. It weighs 10 tons. I'm gonna do something with it. So I brought it home and showed Sidepocket, and he was like, yeah, this is going on an episode.
Yep, I was like mortified. I actually realized something where it's optional if you want to do, but after we switch places, I'm going to try it one last time.
Okay.
Try tensioning it the other way.
I was just about to do that.
Yeah, because we might be tensioning it the wrong way, which would be hilarious because, again, welcome to being on the field with actual locks. Is this kit that's used for practicing, or do you just need to unlock this thing and you don't have the keys? It's a combination of both. It's the fact that it doesn't have the keys. Anytime I see a lock product that's used and the owner doesn't have the keys, always fascinates me because, again, in my practice kit, I on purpose for a lot of the locks as I walk by here don't have the keys. Excellent advertisement for Hope because I don't need them most of the time. But one, we kind of want to see if we can open this because it didn't come with the keys. And two, which was a happy accident because Sirocyl, I don't think, didn't know this is a Distitator lock, and I don't really have many Distitator locks. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to bring this thing. I might bring this to a tool meeting. You're probably not going to see me bring this to every time I go out physically in person simply because it weighs 1,000,000 pounds and the entire kit. Honestly, that I feel like this thing weighs at least as much as the entire current iteration of the entire kit. The entire portable kit I have, it feels like it weighs the same amount. So it's like, that's how heavy this thing is. It's literally solid metal. This entire episode, I was literally trying to make sure that this didn't fall on my foot. Because then I wouldn't have a foot, and that would be a fun massive unlocking of everyone getting to watch what an amputation looks like.
Yeah, and I don't think those are the foot picks that, what's his name?
that foot picks for sale wants to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit more Pornhub and a lot less Rotten.com, which also ages me a lot. So,
Damn.
At least I hope so. Okay. There's the dark net, so.
what I find funny about Detainers is that if you did know what's going on in it, it looks like we're using some piece of high tech like spy equipment to like open up a safe at like the NSA or something. It doesn't help with how futuristic Tool's version of their high security Distitator looks. And once again, I know I'm a broken record with this, but I am going to remind people that if you see the bar above Sirocyl and all the people we've been shouting at, we are trying to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, which is a charity organization that exists across the United States and Canada to assist children's hospitals and pediatric wings. They were already understaffed, underpaid, and under thumb and under everything before COVID. Okay. Because I was like, is he pretty good? It's even worse now during the pandemic. Because remember, we're not even at the end of the pandemic. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but we still have to do a bunch to get there. So we're just trying to see if during the winter we could help out a bunch of sick kids across the United States. But I'll put it this way. I apologize, Foot Picks for Sale, if we accidentally called you dude and misgendered you. This is why I put that out there. We're trying to use dude in like the royal way, like the generic, like this is another human being type of way instead of a gendered way. But we do apologize if we accidentally like dead named you or misgendered you. We apologize for that. But as I was saying, we are trying to raise money to help sick kids across the United States and Canada. There's multiple ways to donate. If you're on Twitch, we have a little widget at the bottom of our stream. We also have a QR code that sometimes works, but the best way is that we have a link that I just posted in chat once again that will go directly to our Tiltify page. That's right. Tiltify is what we use for our donations. Not only do we get real-time feedback, which is why we've been cheering everyone on, including Anani Mouse from Anani Land. GoPro Slowyo, who had to take a quick thing out. I think he has to go back to skating in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. And Foot Picks for Sale, which I'm still wondering if I should like give some generic email of like, well, if you go to our website at defcon21.org, we do have an info at defcon21.org. So there's that. I mean, they could. I've also figured that out themselves. We're also on all sorts of social media, like on Twitter at defcon21nj and defcon201 on all bunch of stuff. defcon201 on Instagram, on GitHub, on hostx.social instance of Mastodon, all of that. But we just posted the link in chat, and we're already up to $194. And Tiltify, we don't handle the money. They're a reputable org, so they can do all of that. But even if we don't meet our goal, even if we do the classic PlayStation 3 $5.99 US at the end of this year, aka January 1st, and all the money including the $194 that has been donated by a bunch of people. But in this episode, we got donations from Foot Picks for Sale, GoPro Slowyo, and Anonymous. All that money will go there regardless, even if we don't meet goals. So don't be like, I want to donate $5, but if they don't meet goal, they won't, and I'll feel like an asshole. Don't worry about that. All of your donations are going to go to help sick kids across America and Canada in the first place. While Sirocyl is now like super intense into this thing, I want to ask in chat, how's everything going on? One of the things we were talking about earlier is that there is an actual, I can actually bring it up very briefly. There's an actual thing that happened last weekend, convention that's called Lock Camp, that takes place out in Texas, and I really wanted to go this year, but unfortunately I couldn't make it. It's like a 3-day, imagine like summer camp. You're actually going out into the wilderness and camping, but during the daytime when you haven't been eaten by bears, you can go and learn how to pick locks and bypass security from expert lock pickers, including a bunch that are way more knowledgeable than I am. So I kind of let people know that, hey, if you were going into if you were at the lock camp, and we actually had, I don't know if they're still in there, but we had one of the people earlier that runs the entire camp. We were like, hey, tell your stories on here, because we love interacting with you folks in chat. That's why we keep reading all the stuff you say. Yep, it takes place in Texas. I can't remember where. Actually, I can double check where in Texas, because Texas is so huge. Texas is one, you can drive in 5 hours in Texas and still be in Texas. And Texas is literally so huge that if you are a fan of country music, I can tell you right now that literally Texas has its own circuit that is so goddamn big that a lot of people just like music from Texas and nothing else. So Lock Camp took place on actually I'll bring up the visuals while you're futzing around with that. Lock Camp took place. Yes, Cactus Land. Cactus, 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 and cactus. It's an in joke. I am part of the Foam Losers of America. Look them up. It's the other PLA. It's not the Chinese PLA, and it's not the Chinese PLA, and it's not the plastic you make 3D printed things out. It's the Foam Losers. So it took place at this year, November 12th to 14th. I think we were told earlier that next year it's going to take place from like the 5th through the 7th or something like that of November. But we originally wanted to go. You see little pictures here. Had a lot of sponsors from a lot of the people talking there. The company that makes this pick called Sparrows sponsored it. Our good friend Killamaru sponsored it. The Longhorn Lockpicking Club, which just sounds like they wear like buffalo hats, you know.
Y'all.
I have no idea what this ghost thing is. I can't even read that logo. Stanley Assist Protect. No Starch Press, well, I'm convinced sponsors everything. It's like, are you vaguely in hacking? Yes, No Starch Press shows up. No Starch Press in a good way is the Ubisoft of the hacking world. Ubisoft, if you're a gamer, has this thing where no matter what your gaming platform is, they will make a game for it, like at launch. And that's what No Starch Press is. If you're remotely near hacking, you are basically almost guaranteed that you're going, which actually, if you are at a con and No Starch Press isn't there or they're not sponsoring, that's probably a red flag for that con, because it's like, how much of an asshole are you that No Starch is not there. Alamo City Locksport. I just find that hilarious. I guess they get defeated by the Mexican lockpickers. I don't. JBKnife.com. There's a lot of, for some reason, there's a lot of people in. I think it's because of the crossover with the survivalist groups. There's a lot of crossover between people. This is actually what happens. They get into lockpicking. We got another donation. Thank you, Feet One Dead. What's up with the feet tonight?
It's Feel Dead.
Feel Dead. Okay.
$69. Wow.
It's $69. Thank you, sir. At $263 in total. So that's like over.
We've gone from 2 to the 7 to 2 to the 8.
I know. Maybe you should be on camera more often. I hate this. I try to like wash up and everything, and then Sirocyl's just like yo, and like all the mad money and biatches come out of nowhere.
I really should get a program on. Oh, that's great. Our incent code is no dough. Fucking excellent.
By the way, if you're curious about that, and then I promise we'll probably both get on camera at some point. That incent thing, if you go get.incent.com, you can scan that QR code or put that little code in the app for it. This is actually a legit thing as far as we know. Like, this is not a scam as far as we know, because we researched this. But basically, you get a little bit of cryptocurrency called Incent. I usually turn this on for my other show, Crypto Barons, which will happen this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I just leave it on in general. And basically, as you watch our stream, you get bits of the Incent cryptocurrency, and then you can take that cryptocurrency and convert it into another cryptocurrency, in which then you can also convert that cryptocurrency into fiat money. So you can literally take Incent, convert it to Bitcoin, and then convert it into dollar bills or pound sterling or Tide Pods or whatever the current legal tender is now.
So I'm having a bit of a difficulty with this, in particular with this lock.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it with this.
Okay.
Because I know it works here. You've done it with this, I'm sure.
Yeah, it took me forever, but yes.
It's just this lock, I think, is seized up a bit more than usual. Like,
okay. What I'll do is I'll read the quick rest of the sponsors, and we'll try what they literally recommend on the instructions. I'm going to blast it with some lock lube. And we'll leave it sit for a couple of seconds and then do this. And honestly, because everyone is $6 to get back into $69. Will someone donate $6 so we get to $269? So we have 269 345 1-800 carbs for kids type of number. But yeah, I will spray that up as Sirocyl goes back to the practice one just to see what the different feel is. So another sponsors for Lock Camp this year was so a lot of people start lock picking and then they make their own picks and then they discover how to make knives. So there's this weird crossover between lock pickers and knife people. It just makes me more shocked that Jack's not even more into lock picking than he actually is. Southord. So we had two lockpicking companies, Sparrows and Southord, sponsoring it. And then we have independents like Bobcat Locksport, Dark Arts Lockpicking, again, great channel, Killamaru, Locksport International, Kinley, whose logo looks like a captcha, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But Kinley, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the corner where I can't see it.
Pentester Labs, this random InfoSec company, and a cool skull logo that I can't read. But yeah, so this was like an actual camp. You can see the map here, and you have like the RV circles. I love the logo for the shower. Oh my god, that's great.
I love a cool skull logo you can't read. That's one of my favorite InfoSec companies.
Cool skull logo. Oh god. If DCG 201 ever has to make like a professional shell company, cool skull logo you can't read industries or co-op. But yeah, it's an actual camp, and I have relatives in Texas, so I really wanted to go to this. It was at Lockhart State Park this year. Unfortunately, Lockhart State Park, you bastards. I couldn't make it due to both time, money, and that I'm sad. So I had to skip out this year. But it's coming back next year in November. And what they do is, again, it's a camping thing, but during the day you learn workshops from all the different sponsors. A lot of people. And Anonymous just donated $6, so we have $269. Nice. Nice. Niach. Nice. Thank you so much, Anonymous out in Anani Land. I'm assuming you're watching us through Tor, because that's one of the ways. There's actually a service called Inviticus, which has a ClearNet version where basically you can watch YouTube without going through YouTube, so it skips all the ads and stuff. Yep, and I'm gonna hop over in a second. But yeah, and so you could actually get Invitus through Tor, and that's like a lot. We know a couple elite hacksaws and people from other countries who watch it. And Potato Cat. I don't know if you're the anonymous person, Potato Cat, but whoever donated that $6, thank you so much for this. This is honestly, I need to listen to Sirocyl more because this was a good idea. So, what you haven't been seeing here as I've been talking through browser stuff is Sirocyl, like me, has given up. Oh, hi, Chariel. No, we're gonna be streaming for a bit because we saw some people. I thought this was gonna be a short stream, but apparently. Now that we have an audience, so yeah, if you rotate the disc back, I'm going to use the Lock Dry Lube, which does three things that I do in real life. It penetrates and lubricates. It won't attract dirt, which is, unfortunately, I attract dirt all the time. And it's anti-corrosion, and unfortunately not for Donald Trump, anti-collusion. So, we're going to basically do, because it's literally like, I don't know if you saw that, but the instructions are actually printed in the crappy cardboard. Oh. And actually, they have their own lube that they sell for this, but this is a better lube. So, here we go. Yep. Don't worry, this actually won't. You can actually watch this stuff.
I can see behind the lock.
Like, you can see behind. You can see my behind with the lube.
No. Like when you were spraying the lube, I could see coming out of the lock. It looked like volatile organic compounds.
Yes, this lock was coming a volatile organic compound. Hi. Okay. He's like, I'm going to get the crossbow. But yeah, no, Charell, you are here at normal times. I just need to, if we could switch the spot.
Yep.
And then, I don't know if you want to watch it with me. I don't think, okay, I'll put it this way. I know it's 50 minutes long. So I don't know if we want to watch the entire keynote. I don't know how much YouTube will like us, even though they already don't like us, of watching the entire keynote. But I figured we'd watch part of it. Just because you folks are all awesome, you've been donating. We hit 69 twice.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. I'm actually gonna do that. Oh wow. Okay, that's hilarious. It made like a giant lube stain underneath. It just turned over its bottom and it's a giant stain of lube. I have to deal with that later. It's not coming out because I have to use chemicals. By the way, when you work on lock stuff, especially lock products like certain master locks, actually master lock number 3s are especially like this, where they have their own internal lubricant. I highly recommend, especially since you're working with lube, chemicals, and metals, try not to touch your face. Don't do what I do. Try not to touch your face. And when you're done, if you need to go use your hands to eat something or touch another person, like another living being or something, get lava soap. You can sometimes find them at grocery stores. They usually have them at auto shops and hardware stores. And basically, it's soft, so it does moisturize your hands, but it has an abrasive material in it that will actually remove a lot of those type of stains. So it both sanitizes your hands and it helps remove dangerous chemicals and cruds. Because as someone who grew up with an auto mechanic in their family, that's what a lot of that's what mechanics use. It's lava soap and blue towels. That's how you know you're with a mechanic. Is you go to their place, lava, like their home, lava soap and blue towels. Also, that's a lava soap is great to use too, especially when you're soldering. All right, so we're gonna try this one last time in both directions with the lube. I'm putting it, I'm tensioning it, and we'll see if we get a better result from this. I believe it's in Vidus. What I can do is after this, if you can't find it, I will go and get the URL for it. Gloves can be helpful, but I don't recommend them for beginners because even with nylon gloves, there's kind of a bit of a skill curve in my opinion, especially with feedback of using gloves for trying to feel back from them, because I know people who like literally they can up the challenge from picking locks by just wearing even just like latex gloves. That's actually why Sparrows sells specific products such as the Night Shift, which are designed for doing feedback with gloves. See, and the fun thing about this is because we don't have the keys, we actually, one, don't know which way we're supposed to tension this. I believe this is the correct way to tension it, but who knows? And two, is that I also don't know exactly which way to rotate the discs. So I'm just trying different things here. So we're going to try to rotate the disc to the right. And I keep getting stuck between the gaps on this. If that doesn't work, I'll reset it. I'll do it basically 4 times. I'll reset it real quick. Do the same tension direction, but then rotate it the actual disc in a different direction. If that does not work, then I will. If that doesn't work, I will tension it the other way, and then we'll try both directions with the disc, and then I will quit and hate myself, which I'm honestly just about to do, even though we have a bunch of people watching. There's nothing. I honestly hate it. This happens usually with our meetings. I always hate when we have to like kill the live stream, right when we have like 1 million people watching. So yeah, I'm just gonna reset these discs here real quick. Oh God, she's leaking everywhere. That's a messy, messy, messy bottom right here. Almost. Got one on the back. There we go. All right, now we're going to tension this the same way, but I'm going to try pulling the rotating the disc towards me instead of away from me. Yeah, I think it's invidious. And I think it's INVID .us is the ClearNet one. If you go to the .onion that we have in the corner and it loads, and you go to our partners page, we have the URLs for not only our channel but Invidis on in Onionland on Tor, so that you can use the full privacy features for that. All right, so that's between those discs. So I have to unstick that. Where did it go? Rotating it towards me gets it constantly stuck in these gaps. Yeah. So, you know what? I'm going to try tensioning it the other way. In fact, I need to, like, there's more excess coming out, so I need to, like, wipe it properly. You know, like you do. And we're going to reset again, and I'm going to do the same thing where I rotated this away from me, and then we'll reset it and do it towards me, but this time I'm going to tension it in the opposite direction. And we'll see how it goes. So now I'm going to be doing the same thing, except I'm going to use the tensioning for this detainer and turn it towards me this time. Now, I forget who did it initially, but thank you for that raid. Like, I think I'm tensioning it the wrong way, but we're gonna find out. Stuck in a gap there. Fall into the gap. Fall into the gap. All right, so I think because of the way this was like going, I was tensioning it the right way before. It's just I just don't think at my skill level, and the fact that I'm using a thinner head when I should be using a thicker head on this. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get this open. But what I am gonna do is I am gonna recap what we've done, and then as a cool bonus for all of you, I'm gonna see if I can load up the SyncCons video because I downloaded it in the background, and we'll see if we can at least watch the beginning pieces of it so that you can see me react. And that's just a special treat for you all for donating a ridiculous amount of money tonight towards our fundraiser. We are actually now, literally, if I do the math correctly, hold on a second. We are roughly like $31 away from being halfway through our goal for the end next month. And I will put it this way, if we go past $600, we're going to still keep collecting. I'll raise the goal, I'll move the goalpost literally at the end of December. Like Jan 1st, everything gets donated. This has been so far like 2 months worth of donations, and then December will be 3 months, and that will complete our run. So again, thank you, GoPro Slow-Yo for donating. Thank you all the anonymous people who have donated, and thank you, Fee One Dead. Like that, it's like a rap name. Like that's gonna be the rap battle. GoPro Slow-Yo versus Fee One Dead. Yo yo yo. Because I'm totally not from the streets. I'll put it this way. I live in the ghetto. I don't sound like I'm from the ghetto. But just to go over, so basically Sirocyl found at a flea market this Detainer lock that's giving me hell because I'm inexperienced with Detainer locks, and that's why I practice on this clear plastic lock. I also use that to demo people, and eventually we're going to do, probably in February, an entire episode on Detainer locks and how they work, because I'll finally have like 2 padlocks that will do this. We took a look at a way simpler, stupid, cheapo coupler. This is literally, this is a type of padlock. I've also seen this being used as like normal locks, and it literally has the same exact difficulty in air quotes as a master lock number 3. So you can literally do that with a half ball, which are really designed for Wafer Locks. It just opens. And this is used as a coupler for small hitches and like lightweight stuff you're carrying on a truck. This is for like carrying like an entire parade.
and it has a Distitator. And the thing is, because both my skill level with Detainers, as well as that I really need to, one of these days, probably again in February, February might be Distitainer month, where we'll do one with an intro and going through Distitainers, and then the second one is I'll do Rook Knight's tutorial of how you can take a certain type of screw, I believe it is, that you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot, and then cut it down so that you can use it as a replacement head and have a way thicker head, because this thin head's designed for delicate, high security locks and not for like chunk cheap boys like this. Yeah, he's happy to F1 Dead versus GoPro Slow-Yo and have it like 8 Mile where they're rap battling against each other. So what I'm going to do instead is we're going to go on an extremely short break. And then as I go on the short break, you're going to listen to like 2 seconds of music. It's going to be, I'm going to be back at the computer, back at my face, and we'll try to load up the sync cons thing. Regardless if we're able to load up or not, we're not going to watch the entire thing. We're just going to watch like a small chunk of it. I will then thank everyone. And then if you are on Twitch, I'm not doing D-Live Lemons today, unfortunately, but if you are on Twitch, stay tuned, because we will then, like the way you folks graciously raided my channel, we're going to raid someone else's channel tonight. And that's how we're going to end that show. For everyone else, it's just going to end, and I'm just going to be so happy that knowing that at least $269 dollars will be sent towards multiple hospitals across the United States and Canada to help children who have been infected with COVID, who've been infected with just general pneumonia, who have accidentally gotten infectious splinters in their fingers, attacked by bugs, domestic abuse, people who have kids who have disabilities, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. So just give me a moment. I'm going to switch over the cameras. You're going to hear some music and chill out for like a very short bit, shorter than last time. And we'll try to see if we can look at SaintCon, and if not, this has been a fantastic. I thought today, honestly, was going to suck ass. I thought I was going to be live streaming for half an hour, and there'd be like -3 people in here, and I'd go. But this has just been beyond my eyes, and that's because of all of you out there. So, once again, thank you out there. We are not quitting yet. I'm just moving the camera, and we're going to try one more thing. This ages me. If you tell me if you know where this cartoon comes from, one more thing. We're going to do that. And then we'll call it a night. So enjoy the music for a little bit. I'm gonna go and futz around with OBS. Time to play some tunes.
Okay, so this is what most people who watch Crypto Barons and the live stream portions of our meetings and circuit breakers and our specials and stuff normally see this angle. Also, the lighting's slightly off because since I originally had the light over near the setup we have over there, I had to put it over here. I normally have it like right behind, so it's like right in my eyeballs and it's melting and stuff. But we're back here, and honestly, this stream has been went way better than I ever thought, especially since I have to go to work in 7 hours. So for a treat for you all again, I don't think we're not gonna watch all 50 minutes of it unless I get really that engrossed in it. But I thought it'd be really neat if I have not. So if you didn't know, by the way, hi again. For everyone who doesn't know, this is the DCG 201 channel. We're a computer hacker group, one of the many DEF CON groups that are across the United States and around the world, and we're the one from Jersey City, New Jersey. And if you want to know more information, go to our website, defcon201.org, which I'm also about to put in chat. We're also on a bunch of different social media stuff, such as DC DEFCON 201NJ on Twitter, because scalpers. But we're also just known as DEFCON 201 on Instagram and the hostducks.social instance of Mastodon and GitHub. And we should really probably reinstate our TikTok, but we have to do better security measures for that. If you go to our website, we have a couple of them, but if you want to see like all the different live stream options we have, all the types of social media, I also just posted the link in chat again. Finally, which I'm going to be talking about, it's probably going to be the second to last time I'm going to bring this up, we are trying to raise money. We've been doing it since October. We're going to end it on January 1st, so all of December as well. We're trying to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. I'm actually going to switch over to... should I do this? Let's switch over to face mode here. I just want to find Children's Miracle. Just bringing up the website here, so when I switch over, you can see it. It's a charity org that's works with hospitals across the United States and Canada. And they basically try to get donations for money, and they try to redistribute these donations. Here we go. Let's switch over to the screen. Probably going to see the table, which is currently abandoned, but we're going to switch over to browser mode here. So this is their website's kind of weird. That's why I'm going to the Wikipedia page, but basically, they use donations that they receive, such as the donations you've been sending in tonight, and they send them over to multiple pediatric wings and children's hospitals across the world. Sorry, across the United States and Canada, including the 14 children's specialty hospitals that are located in New Jersey itself. So if you want a more local thing, that's done there. And put it this way, even before the pandemic, many of the United States hospitals, I know this is someone who's an American, and a proud American, I might add, are underfunded, understaffed, and under thumb of the FDA and other regulators and under everything. And they basically barely have enough money to keep the lights running in the building. The pandemic has definitely not made this easier, and especially since especially the newer strains of COVID target younger people, mainly kids, hence why they're trying to improve the children's vaccinations. They really need help. So, and the thing about COVID is that COVID just exasperates all the original problems that like kids with mental disabilities, kids who are children who are recovering from domestic abuse, children who are injured physically, children who have other diseases that have existed since the beginning of time, such as pneumoma and measles and things like that. It's just a mess. So that's why we're trying to raise money up until January 1st. And a lot of you folks after that raid really came out in support. We've had 2 anonymous donations. We GoPro Slowyo and Fee1 Dead have donated money. So right now we're at $269 nice dollars, which is a little over halfway to our goal of 600. And if you are interested in doing all of this, there are multiple ways that you can reach out to donate. One way is you can go to my brain just blanked out. If you're on Twitch, you can scroll, and thank you, Master88, for following us, and for some reason didn't see that blurb earlier. I apologize. But you can, if you're on Twitch, you can scroll down. We have a little widget that goes through Tiltify to donate. All of this is being handled by Tiltify. It's a reputable third-party company who they deal with charities all the time, including Children's Network Hospitals under Child's Play. So they deal with the money, not us. We're not a crypto pump and dump scheme. So, trusted third party, that's where your money goes to. And even if we don't make this $100, let's say by January 1st we make Sony PlayStation 3 announcement money, $599 US, all the money, including the current $269, are going to Children's Miracle Network Hospitals and helping out to kids across the United States and Canada. So even if it's like $1 or $3 or $5, donate any amount you want. That will all go to this by January 1st. If you can scan, which I think you can now, thanks to the background, the QR code, that will also take you to the donation page. It's not a malware hack for your phone, I promise. But the most direct way is I just posted once again, it's going to be the second to last time, the link where you can donate to. So, because you all have been donating so much money, and despite not being able to open the Distitator lock on the Master of Unlocking show where we look at lock picking and lock sport and lock products, I am so happy as the next instant reward is going to pop up where you earn a little bit of crypto by watching our show. I'm so happy where everything's been going. A really famous person in the lock sport world, he's probably the most famous lockpicker, to be honest. As a lockpicking lawyer, decided to swing his, I am Hollywood famous belt around, and he became the keynote at SaintCon, which is a major computer security and hacker convention now. We're not going to watch the whole thing, and I have not seen this, so I'm just going to watch like the first, I'm thinking like maybe like 10 minutes of this, and you just get to see my raw reaction to this. And then if it's not in the first 10 minutes, I might have Sirocyl come out because he said there's this hilarious innuendo flub. If he knows around what timestamp it is, we will go check that out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the headphones on. And just as a treat for you all, I'm going to attempt to load this video and not grandpa myself and dox everybody. And we're going to look at the at least 10 minutes of the keynote from Lockpicking Lawyer. So I'm just going to load the video file. This is the stuff you're hopefully not seeing behind the scenes here. It's a little slow right now. So I have it under K for keynote. Here we go. Load that in. And hopefully when I turn this on, just like in real life, when I turn them on, it will work. Where locks went wrong. This is already off to a great start. Audio should be kicking in soon.
Welcome. Thank you. I'm the person known as the lockpicking lawyer. At least that's
just
what
gonna
I
be slides,
told these
I guess.
guys. I actually just have vaguely similar looking hands and the same voice. Seriously, that would be pretty epic if in fact I was not him. As I was sitting in the back listening to Pope, it occurred to me it's pretty unusual for a group of people to come see someone speak without having any idea who that person is. So thank you for the vote of confidence. I will try to leave a little bit of time at the end for questions. So if there is not time, I'll be around the con a little bit. Feel free to come up to me, ask whatever you want. Let's start with the awkward stuff. Yes, I know I'm a little bit boring. I've spoken at a lot of conferences before, but they were all legal conferences, and I was speaking on legal topics. And the great thing about legal conferences is it is perfectly expected for half the audience to fall asleep and the other half to track you down to tell you you're wrong during happy hour.
So it's a hacking con.
Which happy hour, by the way, lasts somewhere between 9 in the morning and 9 the next morning. I'm going to try to do a little better today, but know this going into it. I come from a background where it's perfectly normal and acceptable to be really boring. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I actually went back to one of my old presentations. This is an actual slide I inflicted on people at a conference. And this was a conference in Vegas. It was supposed to be one of the fun conferences. Yeah, that's what you get. So I don't want to be too arrogant and assume everyone here knows who I am. So quickly, Lockpicking Lawyer is the name I use online for my YouTube channel,
I love how
where I
humble our
test a
community is.
variety of security products. I started the channel about 7 or 8 years ago. I've posted over 1,300 videos now, and we've got about 3.5 million subscribers and about 780 million views. And the stat that really kind of blows my mind is we have 4,300 years of view time. And that's what it was 4,300 years ago. So a little bit about who I am, and seriously, these are the 3 most common questions I get.
Okay.
The answers are yes, no, and no. Yes, I am really a lawyer. My channel name is literal. I am, or at least I was, a lawyer who also picks locks. I practiced law for about 15 years, litigating mainly in corporate governance and related legal
Lord, my
fields,
condolences.
nothing related to security. No, I am not, nor have I ever been a practicing locksmith, and for what it's worth, that guy is not either. Or if he is, I hope he charges by the hour like a lawyer, because he's never getting into that door.
Yes. You noticed the wrong positioning there, yeah.
And finally, no, teaching people how to pick locks is not a clever or devious form of client development.
Oh,
I think
Lord.
it's kind of hilarious that people think that. I have never practiced any form of criminal law, nor do I ever plan to. So, first, thank you for respecting the no camera rule. I thought I'd briefly tell you why I asked for that. And to be blunt, I don't want anyone to know who I am. First, I don't think my name adds or subtracts from my message.
Correct.
I have no desire to be famous or well-known. The secrecy actually started when I first started making videos. I had a lot of big, well-known companies as clients, and I didn't want my online presence to interfere with that. And then I discovered the internet is a really, really weird place.
Understatement of
Let
the
me tell
year.
you, I thought I was a weird guy, but crazy started coming out of the woodwork. And I'm not talking about normal strange, like
That's the
come
entire
help me
community.
break into Area 51, or come fly out to the Middle East. I want you to train this chic security detail. That's weird, but kind of expected. I'm talking about full-fledged tinfoil hat, fake moon landing, Elvis is alive, flat and/or hollow earth.
Rule 34 of
wackadoodles.
Lockpicking Lawyer.
I don't particularly want to meet any of them. Speaking of other people I don't particularly want to meet, I also discovered that lockpicking groupies is a thing.
Yes, Night Owl could tell
Who would
you.
have thought it possible? And while lingerie in my P.O. box was not predictable, the response of Mrs. Lockpicking Lawyer was predictable.
I love the
Yeah, she
Crocs
wasn't
lock.
that happy about it.
The
On a
whistle.
slightly more serious note, I have had several threats made against me, some more credible than others. I've had PIs hired to find me. Thankfully, security community is pretty small. I know some of them, others let me know. And they've had all kinds of strange things told about me. Everything from, I'm a deadbeat dad, faking disability, we gotta track this guy down for the insurance company, to I ran away with their child.
Oh, Lord.
It's some weird stuff. I've also had tracking devices sent to my P.O. box, hidden in packages, the hopes that I would take them home to my family. I have no idea why people do these things, but I am relatively certain I don't want to find out. So, please respect my desire for anonymity.
Yep, law of
I
big
have
numbers.
a family about whom I care deeply, and I'd
We're gonna
like
watch
to keep
like 4 or 5 more
awareness
minutes
of
of
the
this.
internet away from them. So, what am I talking about today? This is obviously a security conference, but I'd wager that the vast majority of people here are pretty much solely in computer security.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I am the least computer literate person in the room. I'm not a complete idiot, but every single person here knows more than me. So what do I have to offer? Well, if stereotypes are any indication, we actually have quite a bit in common. I like drinking scotch.
This was going to be part of my talk.
I drink way too much Red Bull.
So this is kind of neat to see.
I do my best work after midnight.
Yep, he's a werewolf. I knew he was a werewolf.
And even when I try to explain it, most people have absolutely no clue what I do. And I'm pretty sure that includes my wife. Though, to be fair, my wife is awesome at pretending she cares whenever I seem excited about something.
That's why you marry them.
But to be serious.
Oh, God.
Computer, physical, frankly, all kinds of security have a lot of similarities, and I think there are some common lessons. Now, if you've watched my YouTube channel at all, you've probably seen me open a wide variety of security devices, and after watching me do this a few hundred times, you may have asked yourself a question that I'm asking every day. And that is, how did things ever get so bad? And why is it that we can go to a store like this and every single lock on the shelf has some design vulnerability? How is it possible? I mean, in other security fields, people tend to be less tolerant of this sort of nonsense.
Right.
With exceptions, I know. A lot of you are going to laugh.
Hospitals.
Because you know about what a dumpster fire a lot of computer security can be. But I'm actually impressed with how quickly the security in the digital world is evolving.
Oh, yes.
And despite the fact that there's still a ton of progress that needs to be made, we've actually reached an impressive level of maturity in the last 20 years. And more importantly, that security often filters down to end users. On the other hand, the lock that's on most people's front door has stayed essentially the same for roughly 160 years.
Centuries.
It was this guy in 1861, handsome fellow named Linus Yale Jr., who refined his father's lock design into what we use today. To put that in perspective, 1861, that's when the first shots of the American Civil War were fired. Put it differently, we went from the Wright brothers' first flight at Kitty Hawk to landing at the moon in 66 years. Nice. About half that time. Yet for some reason, we're still stuck with this.
If it's broke, don't fix it.
Even a lot of the high security locks, they still got that same core in it, the same vulnerabilities we took and grafted on top of high security. Higher digital security.
Also, the digital stuff is bad.
So why is it that this one industry is so resistant to change and innovation when everything else in our lives has evolved so quickly? And just as importantly, what does that mean for our physical security? These are questions that I've actually given a lot of thought to, because if you don't know what the problem is, you really can't solve it. And I think it comes down to two factors.
Authentication.
They're historically and culturally based. The first is the absurd, historic secrecy surrounding physical security issues.
Yes.
And the second is a mindset among security engineers that allows for poor products to thrive. So let's talk about secrecy first. Locksmithing, all the way back to its very earliest forms, up to the present day really, have held very, very close the tricks they use to defeat locks. In fact, I've read in the early days, those breaking this wall of silence would certainly be ostracized, but probably would also face bodily injury, if not death. So, I've had some very long conversations with, obviously, present-day locksmiths who still insist, to this day, quite vigorously, that me revealing how terrible locks are is putting your dear little granny in danger. And locksmiths tend to get pretty angry about it too, angry with me. They apparently either don't think there's a problem, or they know there's a problem and think that hiding it will make it go away. There's a name for this.
That's Microsoft.
Anyone know what it is? Security by obscurity, heard that a couple places? Absolutely. And is this considered good or bad? That's right.
Depends.
Awesome.
In this case, it's bad.
Anyone professing this same line of thought in the world of digital security would be absolutely crucified, well, metaphorically crucified, and would probably not be able to find a job. And that's as it should be. Employers don't like hiring idiots. Yet, well, some do.
Well, Google.
I'm sure you've all got one at work. Yet, in the world of locksmithing, not only does this line of thinking reign supreme, but those who abide by it think themselves morally and ethically superior to others.
Yep.
It's pretty incredible. It's like every single one of them collectively decided to simultaneously put their head in the sand. It's pretty remarkable.
I want the story behind this.
To be fair, I am straw manning a bit. What they usually say is that the problem should be solved in private, behind closed doors where the public can't see it. At best, I think that's one of these. Anyone know what this is? And please don't say weed. Fig leaf. That's right. The position has some facial appeal until you realize that the same problems have existed for decades and decades before any of us in this room were born, with little or no forward progress.
All right, dead serious. 5 more
Interestingly,
minutes.
if you go to Wikipedia, it says that an early opponent of security by obscurity was actually a locksmith.
Yep.
We good? There we go. 150 years before I ever picked a lock, this dapper fellow by the name of Alfred Charles Hobbs was publicly demonstrating to people how to pick the high security locks of his day. And he caught way more heat than I ever did. And in response to his critics' concerns about exposing security flaws that would make them more vulnerable to criminals, he stated the obvious, something that remains true even today. He said, rogues are very keen in their profession and already know much more than we can teach them. Essentially, he was saying that...
I just want to pause and say real quick that, to a little bit kind of clarify and elaborate on that, there's a constant saying of, like, among people who do what we would stereotypically call white hat hacking, where a lot of people understand when like white hat hackers break in, they're always like, oh God, this is absolutely horrible. But the perspective they want people to look at it is that we're the good guys trying to find the security flaws. And we found out that if you put the ham sandwich next to the router, it hacks into the NSA. If us dumb white hats know this, the underground criminals not only know this, they probably have already developed better techniques that we still don't know about yet. You know, it's the old thing of that if it's broken into, then we're pretty sure someone else has also broken into it, they just never reported it. And thank you, Red Team Medic, who I think I've seen you around before on Instagram, I believe. But thank you, Team Red Medic. I always keep getting these usernames that like rhyme and stuff. It's amazing. And I'm an American, so I have no idea how my own English language works. But thank you for following us. I just wanted to quickly elaborate on that. Again, trying to find a place where we can cut it off exactly, but I'm doing like the snooze alarm button thing, and literally we're gonna watch because I'm tracking like about 4 more minutes, and then I'm hard cutting it. And then I'll probably bother Sirocyl of where's the innuendo, but we'll figure that when we get there. Back to this.
Criminals already know how to be criminals. After all, they're criminals. Now let's try not to be stupid and fix our problems. That didn't get a lot of traction back then. So, what is the result of this lunatic mindset? What happens when security by obscurity is your guiding principle? What does it mean for the locks that you purchase every single day? It means this.
Yes! Exactly. Master Lock, Microsoft, what's the third one?
result. And I know a lot of people in the lock sport community, they like to pick on Master Lock, but like most things that have evolved into a cliche, there's a pretty good basis in reality. Let's take this as an example. Master Lock makes a couple different versions of this, branded Magnum, Pro Series, American Lock, which is owned by Master Lock, but whatever they call it, it's king of the hill. This is the 10 out of 10 security rating. Doesn't get any better than this. If you go into your local hardware store, this is likely the highest security lock you can buy.
It's also between 40 and 60 bucks.
They're used by tradesmen to secure their vans with tens of thousands of dollars of tools in them. In fact, it secures their livelihood. You see them on warehouses, gates, garages. They're everywhere. It's inconceivable that a lock like this, the best offered, could have a flaw that allows it to be opened in 2 seconds, right? Inconceivable. To be fair, it's something that a security engineer wouldn't know about unless they were paying attention since, how many years is it? Oh yeah, 1934. And Pope was complaining that you're working on the same issues after 10 years.
Yep, it's the same bureaucracy as our government. Why they go hand in hand.
Security professionals have known lock combing as an issue for about 85 years. For those of you who don't know, lock combing is a really simple exploit where you put something that looks a little bit like a comb into the lock, and you lift all of the pins, the key pins, which you see in red, and the blue pins, which are the driver pins, all the way above the shear line. That's the line between the cylinder and the lock housing. And that allows the lock to rotate freely. About a year ago, I bought 10 of these Master Lock products at some expense, and much like the 10 out of 10 security rating, 10 out of 10 were vulnerable to combing. That's on my YouTube channel, but I actually brought a couple of them with us so we can look at them right now.
I think after this bit, I'll go to the innuendo and then we'll try this. Oh, he got the different brands too. Nice.
Okay, here we go. Let's start with the Master Magnum. This is probably the one you're going to pick up if you go to Home Depot. We use this little comb-looking device.
Come on, say it's from Covert into.
Okay, maybe I lied. 2 seconds was a little too long. This is the Master Pro Series. This is what you get if you want the upgraded version. Once again, we stick that little comb device in there. And if you want the premium version, made by American Lock, the Series 2010, once again, we take our little comb pick and we got it open.
I love the sticker, by the way. I need to get one of those.
And just in case you think that is limited to only this particular lock, no, Master Lock gave us a lot more. If you've ever been in a locker room, you've likely seen a couple of these on the lockers. Here we have a 4-pin comb, and all of these will open pretty much as fast as if you had the key. Of course, it's not just master lock. We have a little Brinks here.
All the clones.
And just to round it out, let's go with this Abus, which, by the way, has a great little warning on
Oh,
the
yes.
bottom. Unauthorized removal of this lock constitutes breaking and entering. Yeah, that's going to stop someone.
Yep.
Okay.
Sadly for everyone, I'm actually going to stop that there because we're a little over the halfway through the video. But unfortunately, in order to do DCG 201 and to eat food and not be outside where it rains, I have to make money. So, which means I have a job. And I have to wake up stupid early in the morning, unlike most computer hackers. But what? Oh, your phone. Okay. I thought you were pointing at something. I was like, huh? I was expecting to see that deer with the shotgun wearing Santa Claus's bloody uniform because that is. So, but what I will do is I'm going to skip ahead, and apparently Sirocyl said at 4120.
Well, if you want to get right to the innuendo, it's at like 45 something.
Okay,
Like I said, it's 5 minutes after the.
that's fine. I'll get it. I'll do a good median here. So I'll do it at like. I'll do it at like 44. 4407. So we're going to play this part, and apparently in a minute there's going to be a hilarious innuendo, and I think that's the best way to end the stream, and then I'll do all the signing off and stuff. So I'm just really happy that all you folks came out in droves and not only talked with me as I terribly struggled with this Distitainer that probably an infant could open just because I'm so new at Detainers. But I hope you folks learned a bunch from that, especially with the lead up to that about what a coupler hitch is for a camper and stuff like that. Yeah, it is on the SyncCon channel. They live stream the whole thing. This is literally a rip from the video of that, so you can go on YouTube for that if you want. I can post the link to that in a bit, but I just wanted to share the link once again to the. I'm not going to do the whole spiel, but the Chosen Miracle Network Hospital fundraiser. I just put the link again where if anyone wants to donate $1 or $5 before we end the stream in a couple of minutes, like about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. You can do so, and you also don't have to donate while we're streaming. While we do shout people's names out live as it happens, if you donate when we're not streaming, we will still see those. And then the next thing we do, which right now is Crypto Barons this Saturday, which I'm still working with Sirocyl on exactly what we're going to be doing for that, but we're going to cover cryptocurrency technologies as technologies. That's the other show I do. If people donate between then, I will actually read who's donated between then. So you don't have to do it while it's live. It's just awesome and funny to do while it's live. But yeah, you can click that link in addition to the QR code or the little Tiltify widget below on our Twitch and donate. So I want to see the innuendo before we go off. So let's see what comes up here. Let's see. It says lawyers do this all the time, and as someone who semi-doxing used to work in a courthouse, that's already a bad sign. So here we go.
Practicing law. I was articulating my client's position on the phone with opposing counsel, who was a well-grade member of the bar, and I referenced part of the Delaware Limited Liability Company Code. I'll stop boring you with that. The lawyer stopped me and said, "Whoa, wait a second. I was on the legislative advisory committee that drafted that section, and that's not what it's for." And to be fair, he was definitely correct. That's not what it was for. I was kind of way out in left field, but despite the intentions of the drafters, if you put aside your preconceived notions of what that was for and just read the plain language of the statute, it supported my position. So I was able to respond as innocently as can be, as if I didn't know I was being crazy. "Well, sir, I can't speak to what you intended, but that's certainly not what you wrote." That case settled pretty quickly, and the law was changed 2 years later.
That's instant reward, by the way.
Same thing applies to locks. You look at this Brinks lock right here. It's a combination lock that I picked up at Home Depot, and anyone with eyes knows what that hole was intended to do. Holds the cover closed that covers up those little dials. But apparently, since everyone on the design team knew what that hole was designed for, they never asked what you could use it for. I just realized that sounded wrong.
Very much so. Yeah. So again, this truly shows that even a lockpicking god, a lockpicking lawyer, is. I'm actually shocked that took him like 45 minutes to reach that point. Although, from my understanding, he wasn't going like super in depth into the mechanics of locks.
Well, I think you missed the part where he got into. He tried to get into his wife's fever on stage.
Okay, so we have to keep playing this.
No. That was before.
Oh.
I thought you already got past that point.
No, I got to saying the lawyer's doing all the time.
Okay. No, I mean, okay, but you got to the point where he talked about the hole, right?
Yes.
In the thing. Yeah, that was the point that I was trying to make.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, anyhow, I can always leave it at the slide for the mindset, and I'm going to go back to the face cam now. And for all of you who want to watch the rest of that at home, I just posted in chat the direct YouTube link for there. I'm not going to read it because YouTube links are like bad short form random passwords, but you can click on that link or you can just type in lockpicking lawyer St. Con and pretty much that keynote pops up immediately. I'm kind of speechless tonight, to be honest. Let me remove the headphones for this because I thought this was going to be like we had this episode. When did you bring that coupler poem?
Last week, I think.
Yeah. So we've been playing this like roughly under a week because it took me a while. And then also congratulations to Sirocyl for not only finding this, but I actually could not find the Distitator pick because it puts goes around everywhere, and he found it for me. I'm just going to read this quote. Some holes can be repurposed for much more interesting uses. Yes, they can, Jarrell. Yes, they can. We do this all the time. I do this all the time with locks. The real problem with locks is sometimes trying to find something tiny enough to fit in that hole. So, but yeah, we've been playing this under a week, and or mainly I have, and he brought this over and helped me find the Detainer pick. And I'm just floored that we got a raid and that we raised so much. I'll put it this way: if we have to be forced to live in this capitalist hell society where like the metaverse is a thing, and apparently you can what was that article, spend enough money on coupons or something in order to like pay off your college debt at Six Flags. At least we can raise some of that capital in the capitalist society to give it to hospitals who are taking care of kids across the United States and Canada who really need the help, who probably cannot afford the insurance, who don't have enough nurses, do not have enough equipment. And this was all before the COVID-19 pandemic, never mind what's been going on for the past year and a half now. It's going to be almost 2 years at this point. So for the last time, if you're on Twitch, we have a widget below where you can donate, and we're not asking for it. It was amazing the amounts of money is being donated tonight. Again, thank you, GoPro Slowyo, for a donation. Thank you for our 2 anonymous donators, and thank you, Fee1 Dead, for your donation tonight. That really helped. And thank you to, I can't remember who it was, but thank you for the freaking raid that you did.
That was slow. That was GoPro.
That was GoPro, Yo Slow, Moho, Toe Jam, and Earl 3.
Didn't Feet Pix also send some money? I forgot.
Yes, he did. It was just low up. Yeah, thank you, Feet Pix for sale, for donating and making all the innuendos start. So what we're going to do now is, again, there's the Tiltify widget at the bottom if you still want to donate at the end of this episode or just until Crypto Barons happens this Saturday. And I'm also hoping, actually, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. I just realized that we're still going to do Crypto Barons this Saturday, but we're going to actually try to do, actually, no, that won't be conflicting. We're going to try to do a physical meetup later this week because unfortunately we had like a last minute hangout thing because all of our plans fell apart. Because I'm crazy. And yes, thank you, Pote Cat, for talking with us and reminding me, because I'm an old man who can't remember anything anymore, that GoPro Slowyo did the raid. So thanks out to them. He definitely did the MVP here for tonight. But everyone who donated is awesome. Everyone who talked to me is awesome. I'm going to post the link one last time in chat for the donation page to Tiltify. Again, if it's still $269, nice. Dollars that gets donated by January 1st, then that's the actual money. Like, your money's not going to like float off to some nebulous like crypto exchange or something. That's not what's going to happen in this. Again, thank you for tuning into Masters of Unlocking. This was a really fun show. I'm hoping before the end of the year, one of the 2 December episodes, so we do first and third Sunday of the month, so you actually don't have to wait long for the next Master of Unlocking. It's literally going to be 2 weeks from now, so the 2 ones before the end of the year is going to be December 5th and December 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch me personally again this Saturday for Crypto Barons at 8 p.m. also Eastern Standard Time. I don't know if Sirocyl has anything crazy to do before the end of the month, but I'm hoping to get him back and both of us back for Circuit Breakers sometime in December. No guarantees. We're just trying to do that. And we might have a special that we announce on the 30th. If not, our next meeting is on the 17th of December. It will be live stream. It will happen in 8 billionth times the charm, and it's going to be glorious. But thank you all for who donated and watched and made this episode really one to remember. I can't wait to post this on our lockpicking, and if you have any questions, you can also reach out to me at our social media at DEFCON201 and Jay at on Twitter at DEFCON201, on Instagram and such. I'm actually going to post a link tree with all of those in chat. God, the ice cube is going. What are you showing? Well, I'm freezing to death.
This is what we were actually probably going to do for Circuit Breakers next. So,
Nice.
yeah.
And I do know that it's still up there that I'm still trying to order Bia's learning how to solder thing just to do one episode of 8 episodes in and we never talked about how soldering works and electronics work. So that's my episode, and then he's going to do something with this.
It's a 386 motherboard, and it has like a hard drive from like 1989. And I'm going to try and recover the data
It just looks like a giant Pop-Tart.
It does, doesn't it?
I bet it probably works like a giant Pop-Tart too if if it works or not. So what we're going to do now is we're going to end the thing. There's going to be cool music to go out to if you're on Twitch. And thank you so much for thinking my stream's so great. I hope you will continue to follow. If you haven't followed yet, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We're on Twitch Live and YouTube. We're going to go on PeerTube starting with Crypto Barons this Saturday. It's just been me trying to log in, and I have a crazy day. It has nothing to do with like we were pwned or anything. It was just a stupid error that I have to fix. And also Facebook condolences, especially for my friend out there who's watching. And you can also catch us on tour. But again, for main follows, you can follow, subscribe to us for free on Twitch Live or YouTube. We get notifications for those. And when we go live and our scheduling, you will actually get notifications for those if you can't remember. I love how the lock is directly over your face on the logo. That's pretty cool. Also stay tuned because I don't know if it's going to happen before the new year or after New Year, but we're also going to, by the way, Bugger thought it was a huge GPU.
Yeah, I saw that.
It kind of does.
It's the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a 386 motherboard. It's from 1989.
It's what they run. It's what they run Google Stadia on. You can also check our website at defcon21.org. And if you're on Twitch, stay here. It might take a minute just because this computer's freaking slow, but we're gonna go like the way GoPro Slowyo did to us. We're gonna go raid another channel. So if you're on the crazy roulette that is Twitch, we're about to go to something else. I hope you learned a bunch. Thank you for the good day at work and a good week, because I'm going to need it because it's Thanksgiving week. I'll put it this way. I route traffic in a completely different non-computer way, and actually, we actually do have the same problem. Physically, and thankfully I don't work on this particular day, but physically what I'm doing is the equivalent of an Amazon network engineer on Cyber Monday, where it's like, this is the day where everyone is just killing everyone. And yes, Footpicks for Sale was awesome, as well as GoPro was the real MVP. But all of you were awesome for donating and checking out the stream. And again, say hi to whoever we're raiding. I don't know who we're going to raid next. It might be a maker thing where someone's crafting something. Might be another computer hacker thing. Might be some weird random thing. You might be looking at chickens for an hour. Might be some weird music video or DJ. I don't know. You have to stay on and find out. So I think that's a wrap up. Thank you for watching Master of Unlocking. I hope you learned some things. Definitely check us out on our website at defcon21.org, or follow us on any of our social media. And if you follow us on Twitch Live or YouTube, get updates. And of course, we're still raising money for the Children's Network charity. So one last link time. Oh, wait. That was like the fail that you try to avoid at the cons. One last link for people in the chat. Stay tuned if you're on Twitch for the raid. Thank you for checking us out. Hack the Planet, Dirty Jersey represent, and remember, if you're going to buy something at a yard sale, you either really like that person or you really, sorry, flea market, you either really like that person or you really hate that person. And he won't tell me shit, so I still don't know which one it is. It might be both. Might be neither. Because he knows that my weakness currently is this detainer lock. So he's like, oh, this is a pain in the ass. I'm going to give it to him. That, you know what that means? That means in the future circuit breakers, I need to do that to him now. I have to find some like horrible, like I have to go to N Commander's house and try to find something that's like titanium that he hasn't broken yet and be like, here, just something crazy. But no, really, thank you for all the help with this episode and stuff. Stay tuned for the raid on Twitch. Off the music. Peace. Happy lock picking. Locks that you don't own, and locks that you own, and locks that you don't rely on. So clarify. Peace, everyone. Enjoy the music.